That feeling when we arrive, we all get it. Sinful smirks, clammy hands, stomach full of butterflies. The energy's intoxicating. The lifestyle's lavish. What happens here doesn't stay for long.
It's gonna get ugly down here. Oh, there's a flight down here, guys.
As the king once said, ambition here is a dream with a V8 engine. So rev it. Relish it. Remember it. But be prepared to go home ticked.
Green.
Vegas, baby. It's ours. Right now on Fox.
Fox Sports welcomes you live to Las Vegas, Nevada, from the Strip to the Las Vegas Motor Speedway. Outstanding weather for the fourth race of the NASCAR season. So far, it's been a season of surprises. The winners have been long shots. Some drivers hope to get their act together on this, the second mile and a half course that we'll be seeing. The pre-race show, race day, brought to you by Coca-Cola Zero Sugar. And coming to you live from the grid where the action is, we want to bring you closer to the race. Guys who will be calling the race along with Mike Joy, NASCAR Hall of Famer, four-time champ Jeff Gordon, and Clint Boyer,
who's been getting busted at the tables in Las Vegas already.
Vegas has been bad on me already. It's been, it hurts, Chris.
He's the driver next door. He's the people's driver for some input here. And drivers love coming here. The atmosphere, the vibe, nothing gets in the way of that.
Chris, I love being down here on pit road, and you're seeing the grandstands start to fill up with fans. You're seeing the anticipation of these crew members. The drivers are going to start walking on pit road. You just, that energy, there's nothing like it. And this is a fantastic racetrack. Offers up a lot of excitement, especially on those restarts.
Yeah, and well, we've been here a while, so are you ready to work? Today's the day we start working.
Let me tell you, folks, it's just like being down there on the Strip. That blackjack table, it can be rough on you. This racetrack is no different. High, wide, and handsome up on the wall, down low, rough in the middle of 1 and 2. Restarts are so chaotic, going to be a huge part of this race today.
Yeah, and the last 12 races here in Vegas have been won by Cup champions. So that tells me that if you want to win here, don't count on luck. You got to be really good.
Yeah, and I wouldn't say that these guys like Michael McDowell and you know, Christopher Bell and William Byron necessarily did it on luck. You got to get yourself in position. Those guys did a phenomenal job. But today, I think you're going to see the real, you know, champions continue to rise up. I think you're going to see it get done on pit road with their pit crews. You're going to see it here and have just the starting grid. You know, you got some big names, heavy hitters, guys that have won championships right up front here.
Which one is it, Jeff? Is it going to be the old guard? Is it going to be these new surprise winners?
Martin Truex Jr. right here, the floor, Kevin Harvick.
It's not what we've been seeing this year. I'm going to the new guy. Surprise winner today.
You think? All right, we got to Kevin Harvick, who's on the pole. Let's look at the next 4 races. And the reason we mentioned Harvick, including today, over the next 3, he has 14 career victories. Obviously, the mile and a half, 1 of 9 on the circuit. Then we go to Phoenix on that 1 mile tri-oval, and from Vegas, Phoenix to Atlanta. So you're back to the mile and a half. Remember, there's 9 of those total in the 36 race season. And then Bristol Motor Speedway. It's always entertaining, but dirt this time. I mean, that's something that's absolutely amazing. It's going to create mystery theater, a bit of the unknown, and well, they'll help us understand.
Well, we're going dirt track racing in just a few short weeks at Bristol Motor Speedway. For some of you NASCAR fans, it might be something new.
Are you sure you're ready for this?
Of course.
Not looking like that, you're not. Now you're ready for this.
Look at this. You got a tear off?
Yeah.
What's that?
A tear off? Rookie mistake.
You gave me these. Are you kidding me? Hey, awesome. Are we missing something?
Oh, no, I got it. Yeah. Here you go, buddy.
All right.
Cheers. Oh, I can do something about this. Hey, borrowed your pantyhose.
I've seen it all now, boy.
Woo!
We look forward to that Sunday, March 28th. Did I hear pantyhose?
Can you believe that? They threw me under the
Trying to
bus
protect
like
my
that.
beer. I didn't want all that dirt and dust in there. Got to try something.
Yeah, they once opened at the Sands in Vegas. Now they're in the dirt in Bristol. We look forward to that. But back to today, a couple of drivers. Harvick, we mentioned, and then Denny Hamlin, who's led the most races but has yet to win. How about their chances?
So one thing I can say, you said, what is it, 13 races he's won? Do not let that 4-car right there get on this roll. If he does, he is dangerous.
Yeah, but I don't know. We haven't seen the Kevin Harvick at Phoenix recently that we have in the past. Also, it's a dirt track at Bristol now, not the same high banks that Kevin Harvick is dominated at. I do think, though, Atlanta here, these are tracks where he can really shine.
I know Truex, a guy, too, you're keeping a close eye on. We're just getting started live on the scene in Las Vegas, counting it out to the start of the race. Here's what's coming up. We hope you stay with us.
Race day on Fox is just getting started, and the fun continues as we bring in our friends Shannon, Larry, and Jamie to keep the party going. Plus, Vegas native Kurt Busch takes Adam Alexander down memory lane and reveals some of the city's hidden gems. And it's the most popular show in town. Clint and Jeff give us their favorite volleys and put it out. Michael Waltrip's comedy act is back with the Grid Walk. But if you're looking for true VIP treatment, then you can't miss the biggest performer Sin City has to offer. Stick around. It's race day.
Here on race day, and you know, us here at Fox Sports, we like to get into the Vegas vibe. Take a look. There's Bob Pockrass. We got the Blue Man Group right there. That, of course, is the race day crew. Grab those drums, Larry Mack.
I like that.
Shapey.
I like it.
And there you got Penn and Teller, but of course that's
Sophisticated
Boyer and Gordon. Oh my goodness gracious. And Larry Mack.
I like it. I like the hairdo there.
Larry Newton.
Absolutely like the hairdo.
This is awesome. Hi, everyone. Welcome to our Charlotte studio as we get you ready.
I thought that was Chris Myers. It was Larry Mack.
I did do it first.
I thought it was Chris Myers.
We're getting you ready for week 4 of the Cup Series out in Las Vegas. I'm Shannon Spake, America's crew chief Larry McReynolds, and Daytona 500 winner Jamie McMurray. We are going to get to our roulette wheel in just a second. But first, you know, what a start to the season that we've had. Surprise, surprise, surprise. Everywhere you look.
Never saw this one coming, because you would think after 3 races, we'd be talking about the normal cast of characters. We'd be talking Hamlin, Logano, Kyle Busch, Chase Elliott. No, we're talking McDowell, Bell, William Byron. But I agree with Jeff Gordon. Las Vegas, the cream will start rising to the top.
Yeah, and I think some of that cream is going to be Kevin Harvick. He has had this quiet year where he's second in points, been in the top 10 in every race. And he talked about earlier in the show that, you know, these weren't good tracks for him, the first 3, but this is a good track, and the next couple are going to be good for him as well. So 2 wins at this track. I think we'll be talking about Kevin Harvick when today's over.
Let's talk about this for a second. Let's talk about a little hit the gas, pump the brakes, powered by Ram. We're going to pull out our roulette wheel here in the virtual studio. What we're going to do, well, we're each going to take a spin.
Okay.
We're going to spin it. It's going to land on a driver's face and name, and then I'm going to ask these guys a question about that driver. So I'll spin it first.
Okay.
There you go. There you go.
Just a little bit.
All right, who will it land on? Larry Mack, you are going to be up first when it lands on Bubba. Bubba Wallace gets his best finish out in Vegas today. You're hitting the gas or pumping the brakes?
I'm going to pump the brakes. I think we're just still too early. I think this team, yeah, they had great speed at Daytona, the super speedway, but I think it's just going to take a while for this team to get where they need to be.
Well, I'm going to hit the gas on this one. I think that they did have good speed at Daytona. Struggled a little bit last week, but it seemed like half of the Joe Gibbs cars did. He's a part of that group. I think that today they could turn that around, might get it done.
There you go. All right, spin the wheel, Larry.
All right, let's
there you
go.
go. Your
Let's
turn.
spin
Let's see
her.
if you could do a little better than I did.
Spin it.
Oh, good job, Larry
That was a
Mack.
good job.
You did a good job. The timing was impeccable, my friend. All right, let's see who it lands on. Kyle gets his first top 5 of the year. Say you what?
Yeah, so I'm going to pump the brakes on this one. And like Larry has said a few times, I'm going to have to see a little bit more. I got nervous. I picked him to win the race last week, and then he struggled to get in the top 10, struggled really bad in the first 2 stages. So I'm going to wait a couple weeks before I give Kyle his first top 5.
I am going to hit the gas. I just think this is the week. Finally, everything with him and his new crew chief, Ben Bayshore, it comes together, and I think he will get that top 5 today.
Ben Bayshore, the running back, former running back in college. knowledge. We've learned that.
Yeah.
Okay, you spin the wheel. Spin it.
There we go.
Boom! Spin the wheel.
Pretty good speed there. Big spin.
Got those Matty D muscles going. All right, here we go. Larry, it is on Joey. Logano gets Team Penske their first win of the season this weekend.
I know he's won the last 2 spring races, but I'm going to pump the brakes. He's going to be strong today, but it will not be a Team Penske Ford that goes to victory lane today at Las Vegas.
Well, Team Penske is really good here, and so is Joey Logano. And for the reason that he has won the last 2 spring races, I'm going to take Joey Logano for a win today.
All right, hope the guys out in Vegas had some more luck or better luck on this Vegas wheel than we did in the studio. We're going to head back to the track when we come back on race day. Chris, Jeff, and Clint. And beware, drivers, we've got another Michael Waltrip grid walk. It is on the way from Las Vegas. It's race day. We'll be back.
Nice to have you watching the Fox pre-race show. It's race day live from Las Vegas, presented by Coca-Cola Zero Sugar.
If 3 weeks ago you had started with $100 and betted on Michael McDowell to win at Daytona, you would have won $6,000, enough to buy one of Clint Boyer's suits. Now, if you would have taken that $6,000 and betted on Christopher Bell the next week at 50-to-1 odds, you would have made $30,000, enough to hire Jeff Gordon to DJ your birthday party. But if you would have taken that $30,000 and betted on William Byron to win last week at 25-to-1 odds, today you would be $750,000 richer, enough to buy less than half of Chris Meyer's hair care products for the season. So, Jeff and Clint, where should I put my money this week?
Those are some pretty scary options. I have better ideas where you can put your money.
Definitely better.
Although you're gonna do a little DJing for us.
Yeah, I don't know if my fee's quite there yet.
It was a mess. You take a guy, you just saw it. You can't take a kid from Kansas in a cowboy hat to a nightclub with some boy from California. It was a disaster.
Let's check on the odds. We're in Vegas, and I want to get their view on. You're gonna help me with a favorite and a long shot. You're the experts here. I know you were talking about Truex a little before. We were just talking to Kevin Harvick. He came over to say that we were annoying them while they're getting ready for the race. But, Jeff, what do you like here on the favorite sport?
Well, I mean, if you want to play a little bit of the odds, go with the guy that won the last race here, Kurt Busch. Go 20-to-1.
Why would you do that when you got William Byron at 22-to-1? He knows how to do it. He just did it last weekend at Homestead, Jeff.
Neither one of you went for the long shots, although those are the longest of the favorites.
Well, don't get me wrong, I'll put money on them too. I mean, these look at Matt DiBenedetto. Are you kidding me? What about Priest 1,000-to-1? That team and that driver could win. I mean, it's a long shot, but I don't know if it's 1,000-to-1.
Man, I love this. I think it's an interesting thing, especially the trend that we're seeing this year with the racetracks and the winners, the new winners, everything else. Ryan Priest 1,000-to-1, pretty good.
How about Brad Keselowski, 3-time winner here? In fact, the most of any active driver. Where is he and the team? We talked a little bit about Penske and how they did last week.
I think today is a big day for Penske. All of them. I mean, Ryan Blaney really has struggled the last couple of races, and he's starting pretty deep. He's going to have to show up here today. Brad Keselowski's won here 3 times. I expect him to be strong, and I expect Joey Logano to be strong also.
Yeah, I think the Ford camp. You're seeing it right here behind us with the Ford starting up front. Kevin Harvick. I think it's going to be a hard cat to beat right there.
Meanwhile, in Vegas, it's the Busch brothers. It's their home turf. Kurt Busch finally cashed in after 20-plus tries in victory lane. Our guy Adam Alexander caught up with him to kind of help us settle in to Vegas.
Bullring, we've made it, Kurt.
This is my old stomping grounds, man. This brings back so many memories of just working hard, digging hard, racing hard, and this was the track that made it all happen for me and Kyle.
His love was to race, and that's what he wanted to turn his life into, to make himself a racer. And I think once he did that and started to win, at that point, you really did realize that he had the drive and the endurance to do this, and he's proven that.
What's up, buddy?
Hey, buddy.
Good to see you, man.
Scooter, tell me about this guy on the safety crew.
Kurt came out and helped us one time, and we had a Donnybrook up there with a couple of cars, and the driver got out. He wanted to start throwing punches at somebody, and Kurt, you can imagine, at that time he was, 17, 18 years old and about this big around. Look how skinny he is now. He was a lot skinnier then. He jumps out and starts shadow boxing with this guy. Come on, I'll take you on. I'll take you on.
When we came out here to tell Kurt's story, we thought he had been on the security team, not the safety team, because we heard he was breaking up fights. So there you go.
Yeah. Kurt Busch will win in his hometown as he takes the victory at Las Vegas Motor Speedway.
You're a NASCAR champion. You've won the Daytona 500. Why do you continue to come back and relive your history?
Just going back and reliving these stories, it's fun to do it, but it's also just to show respect. It's to show respect for how much everybody helped me make it.
Appreciate that, Adam and Kurt. And you were noticing Kurt Busch, and this could be a career-altering year for him, that he's driving as aggressively, maybe the most aggressive you've ever seen him.
Certainly as aggressive as I've ever seen him in my career, racing with Kurt Busch. I mean, this guy's elbows up each and every week. He was on the course, off the course, of the road course, all over the place at Homestead. I'm telling you, this guy is out for revenge. I don't know what he's out for. I know it is. It's a win. That's right.
Out for a win to get him into a playoff spot.
Absolutely. And then, this is a guy that won here the last time. He looked really good, like you said, aggressive last week at Homestead. So watch for this race team to start stepping it up with Kurt Busch behind the wheel.
Brother Kyle Busch, 17 years to this very date when he made his Cup debut in NASCAR, and it was here in Las Vegas. Wonder if he's mellowed at all over the years. But he's the only Gibbs driver who hasn't led a lap this year, doesn't have a top 5 long season. But coming off of last year, I mean, is he hearing? Is he thinking about what's going on?
I mean, all we talked about 2-3 years ago is the dominance of Kyle Busch, and when is he going to stop winning? And boy, it kind of came to a halt last year. I think the changes that were made over the offseason to this race team, I mean, he seems to know how to just step it up with these changes. It doesn't hold him back. It actually makes him better, makes the team better. But I don't know. We haven't seen it yet. So I think today is going to be a big day for them also. And I expect Kyle Busch to start marching his way back up front, leading laps.
Yeah, unfortunately, the only thing Kyle Busch has won is radioactive here this year. But that will change.
Who's familiar with that,
we just talked about odds. Do not ever bet against Kyle Busch.
All right, I think, too, one thing with Kyle is that he's had to adjust with Joe Gibbs in time. We keep talking about maturity, then, of course, became a champion. I mean, don't you get tired of hearing that after a while, even if you're the lead guy?
Well, I mean, you know, through experience, through wins, through championships, you definitely mature. But you can't completely change who you are. And Kyle Busch is a guy that, he's very competitive. And he's not afraid to show that emotion. And honestly, even though sometimes he says the wrong things in some people's mind, sometimes mine, I love it. That's what we love about Kyle Busch also.
Yeah. And maybe the competition, and look, this year, you've talked about it, the 3 different winners that we're surprised with. Maybe the competition overall in NASCAR and Cup racing has risen to a level that makes it more difficult for him.
Several things. A new team, new crew chief, we're learning them. I look for a track like this today at Las Vegas for it to be a step in the right direction for not only the Gibbs camp, but for Kyle Busch. That being said, the game's changed a little bit, Chris. There's no practice. There's no qualifying. There's no opportunity to be in the car, relay information, do the things that Kyle Busch was always extremely good at behind the wheel. The game's changed.
Yeah, we like it. We're watching it closely. Let's check out our Coca-Cola family of drivers, and among those, you see where they have done their starting position here. Joey Logano, a 2-time winner. Denny Hamlin has led the most laps, as we said, of any driver who has yet to win. He's led the most laps overall.
Yeah, we haven't talked about Denny Hamlin a lot today, but I think he's another name you're going to see be a real factor here today. He led a lot of laps here last time.
And Logano, he got past the last lead lap, and again, Keselowski with his 3 wins before, he had 3 other chances to win, and then passed on the last lead lap.
The other guy I like right there, Roush Fenway. I'm telling you, Ryan Newman being on that list, they were extremely fast last week in Homestead. I'm looking for him.
All right, time for, and it's become really popular, and we thank you too for sending in #PutItOut. I mean, when you see, and this is a driver's term, if the caution flag comes out, they help put it out because it's something like, hey, we got to put a pause on this.
Put it out doesn't happen unless it's big.
It's like, are you kidding me? So you start first, Jeff.
Yeah, let's go sprint car racing. Always some big cautions, some big wrecks, and we're going to watch Tyler Thompson get over somebody's wheel upside down. Put it out. Wait a minute. He keeps on going. Put it out for the wrong guy.
Put it out.
That's exactly right.
All right, Clint, what do you got?
Here we go, Red River Speedway in North Dakota. Watch this. My man pulls off thinking it was the last lap, ladies and gentlemen, from the lead. But wait a minute, the whole field pulls off with him. Everybody, there's still a lap to go. Don't go, don't go. Wait a minute. Hey, guys, I think there's at least one more lap left. My man right here, Mike Anderson, comes around from dead last, wins the race. Holy cow, put it out.
It's great. It's a late, right? Wade, I mean, the tortoise, the hare. He was the wisest of the bunch.
Man.
All right, and finally, put it out for me. Take a look. Citrus County Speedway in Inverness, Florida. Mini stock car racing launches the pace car into trouble. Ouch, but lands
on the pace
right
car.
side up. Hang on, baby.
Out.
Put it out.
I'd say.
And by the way, nobody was hurt in any of these videos.
Except our egos here. Hey, you guys have to go to the booth. Have a great call of the race as always. So it's like the line shift in hockey. We're going to slide you out.
Well, I think he's firing us now.
Have fun. Thanks for we're going to put in Michael Waltrip, who we tried with the magicians to make you disappear. I didn't know you were still here, so but obviously it didn't work.
And that's why you were talking about me, because you thought I was gone.
I know. I thought you couldn't hear me.
That's okay. I forgive you, because I can't wait to go grid walking. I love the grid walk, and we've got it going on.
Now we have to do it virtually under the current standards here, right?
Yeah. Well, let's see what we've got. Chase Elliott, are you copying one-dimensional Mike?
Yeah, this is, like I told you last time, this is my favorite version. So I'm all for this. I'm good with it.
Well, I'm glad to see you. I haven't congratulated you since you won the championship, because you must have changed your number and didn't tell me about it. But congratulations.
Hey, I appreciate it. It was a fun winter, man. I got to do a lot of racing, a lot of cool stuff, experience new things, and obviously it's good to be back in the NASCAR world. But I had a fun winter, so looking forward to it.
Right on. Well, have a good time today. Let's see who else we can find. There's Kurt Busch. Hey,
difficult.
Welcome home, Kurt. Hope you're having fun. Nice to see you. Hey, Hamlin. Hamlin's just up ahead. Hey, Hamlin, I like your PJs. I like your PJs.
All right, Michael. The grid walk virtual style. We're live in Las Vegas. The race coming up. Back live in Las Vegas, ready to go 400 miles in the fourth race of the year. And here's something to think about, too. No driver leading the first lap in this race has ever won a cup race here.
Ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we ask that you please rise if you're able and remove your hats as Billy Malden with Motor Racing Outreach offers today's invocation.
Let's pray. Gracious God and Heavenly Father, we pause to recognize your presence in our lives. Lord, we ask you to watch over all our drivers, teams, and officials. Lord, bless everybody today with a safe day of racing. Lord, for our fans and all that are tuning in to watch, bless them, Lord. Just let it be a great time. Lots of fun, Father. As always, remember the men and women of our armed forces, as well as first responders and those on the front line, looking out for and taking care of us all. Be with them. Bless them and their families. It's in your holy name we pray. Amen.
And now please remain standing as country singer, designer, and New York Times best-selling author Jesse James Decker performs our national anthem.
Say, can you see by the dawn's early light what so proudly we hailed at the twilight's last gleaming, whose broad stripes and bright stars through the perilous fight o'er the ramparts we watched, which so gallantly streaming, and the rockets ringing, bombs bursting in the air,
Vegas Air Force Base nearby. There's Kevin Harvick, the pole sitter, who's won here twice, getting ready to roll in Vegas.
NASCAR on the Fox Sports app.
Good times here in Las Vegas. Our aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. Drive always discovers possibility. Goodyear, more driven.
There's something about this playground. The notion of pure freedom. Igniting the desire to risk it all. The thrill of placing a bet.
On my side here. Still there, door. On your side here. Oh, what the hell?
The flood of adrenaline that follows. Fighting the urge to peel your eyes away as the fear creeps in.
What the you do? You do anything. What the heck is he doing? What the
And just like that, reality hits. It was never really a bet against the odds. It's a bet on yourself.
Driver is Denny Hamlin, who's led the most laps, hoping for his first victory of this season in the fourth race. He's still here. We can't get. Hey, real quick, we're both hoping to cash in at a place that you can cash in with some of Clint Boyer's money. It's FoxBet, and you'll have an opportunity to do that. Enter Super 6 Stage 2 contest for your chance to win, and we wish you a lot of luck. All right, well, you've raced against Jeff Gordon. We've heard him announce the champ. He's done well at the racetrack, but he has some other interests that we sent Tom Rinaldi to find out.
I'm so thrilled. What an exciting thing that is for me. I can't wait to get up in the booth. This is where I belong.
What drove him across all those miles, around all those tracks, toward all those titles? We thought we knew, as we heard his name called again and again in the wins and the awards and the championships. But was there something else he was hearing? Beyond the roar and rush of his sport, greater than the mission and passion for greatness, was there a sound?
I knew I was going to make it to the finish.
Deep, pulsing, vital. A rhythm greater than racing, a tempo beyond the track, a persistent, perpetual, continual, relentless, almighty, all-consuming beat. These were the true wheels of steel. From those grooves to these, from the helmet to the headphones. Not RPM, EDM. So you may know him by the numbers, 24, but his other identity is in the letters, not JG, DJ.
How about that, Boyer? That was awesome! Too bad there's nobody here to see it.
Well, one at a time.
Literally, one at a time. That's all I got. One person. That's all you got.
Oh, Jeff had a bumping, didn't he?
A dream fulfilled. I can just see him hanging out in Vegas with the baby and Polo G or, I don't know. Anyway, hey, the weather. What are you looking for today?
These overcast clouds mean stick, grip. They're going to race side by side a long time.
And we're getting ready to race in Vegas. Glad you're with us.
And now, here to say the most famous words in motorsports, please welcome Las Vegas Raiders quarterback, Derek Carr.
Drivers, start your engines! Let's go!
Fired up command here in Las Vegas. The drivers have had their fun. Now it's time to focus on going 400 miles. Is it another long shot, another surprise winner, or is a headliner going to make it to victory lane?
I am tradition, passed down
From the families that race to the ones that watch us every weekend.
You know, it's all I've ever known, racing.
I was fortunate to be in victory lane 20 years ago, and I'm here again.
I am meant to be passed down from one generation to the next. Because the only thing better than seeing a race is sharing it with someone. I am NASCAR.
This is a stage for Mecca, where the conference king is crowned. The Big East Tournament, March 10th through 13th on Fox and FS1.
This was awesome. Yeah, it was awesome, all right. It's an awesome mess. Way to go.
Hey, cue the confetti one more time.
Really? That was awesome. I'm out of here.
It's been more than 10 years since a non-champion has won in this town. Yeah, you recognize him? 10 years, 12 races. You bet against a proven guy here. You might as well take on the house. Oh, that's me. And I always come out on top. Well, almost always. Lately, these so-called surprise winners have stolen the action. But like I said, today, luck is on my side. That's right. Long live Las Vegas.
Welcome back to the Confetti Club. It's the NASCAR Cup Series, racing from Las Vegas on Fox, presented by Jiffy Lube. What were the odds? What a topsy-turvy start to this season, and we can show it to you right here. Here are last year's last 3 winners and the odds going into each of the races they won. Look at this year. Oh, my goodness. All right now. Daytona, I mean, that's always a roll of the dice. The Daytona road course, who knew? But William Byron on the 1.5 miles where you expected the usual suspects to come through. Clint, that had to rank as an upset. Does this trend continue?
I think it does. I mean, look at the odds. Who would have thought Jeff Gordon would ever get me in a nightclub anywhere by ourselves doing a DJ booth?
Who would have ever thought you'd have Jeff Gordon's panties?
Right, I thought I would be the one that caused the mischief. Instead, it's Jeff following the lead. That being said, I'm sticking with this wave trend. New drivers, surprise drivers. William Byron, I'm telling you, this is the trend this year. We told you it was going to be new, edgy. It's happening.
No. Again, we disagree. No way. Look at the stats. We saw in our open. The last 12 winners have been champions here at Las Vegas. This track rewards experience, the best of the best, on pit road, on the racetrack, on the restarts. Mike, the usual suspects coming back today in Vegas.
All right, well, let's call in a fellow who knows his way around a poker table or two, our crew chief, Larry McReynolds. Is this a place, Larry, where you want to gamble?
You better believe I'm going to gamble. You know where we're at. You know what I say, Mike. If you follow the leader, you'll follow the leader all day long. Now, it was hard to gamble last week in Homestead. Fresh tires was worth too much, but today, especially late in the race, gamblers like Paul Wolf, Joe Logano's crew chief, did 1 year ago, they'll be doubling down, baby.
Well, look, I guess our question, fellas, is why? The winners we've had, the drivers, Chris Buescher won a stage last week. Ryan Preece started out with 2 top 10s. This is just so abnormal from what we would expect coming off a season where Kevin Harvick won 9 races, Denny Hamlin all but dominated. We had a great Final Four, and suddenly it's a whole lot of new names, but why?
Well, we do expect things to be unexpected at Daytona, and we saw that with Michael McDowell. But then we went to a road course. That's a new change for us on the schedule, going to a road course, so you can't always predict what's going to happen on a new schedule and a change like that. Of course, I think the biggest surprise was definitely Homestead in the 1.5 miles. We did expect more the guys we know to rise to the top. Something has changed. The cars have more parity this year.
Well, let's hear from a fellow who was a bit of a surprise winner here last time.
Let's go to Kurt Busch. Hey, Kurt Busch, it's Boyer. Jeff up in the booth. You got us?
Hi, buddy. You know how to do it. Let's have some fun. Stay focused. Nice and smooth.
That wasn't
Be there at the end to get the win.
I think he's answering it.
Try to get in there, Prince of Emporia.
Hey, Kurt Busch, it's Boyer up in the booth. You got us?
I got you, buddy. What's up?
All right, hometown kid here. You've been, man, elbows up every single week. So much fun to watch. What do you got for us today?
We got a fast Monster Energy Chevy. We're just kind of polishing up from where we were last fall when we won, but we got to shove all that aside. You know, what happens in Vegas in September stays there. We got to do a good job today to execute as a team. Got a great group of guys, and yeah, I'm almost out, buddy. Watch me wheel it.
All right, buddy. I appreciate it. Good luck. We're going to be watching.
Well, let's have a look at the Jiffy Lube starting grid for today's race. Kevin Harvick and last week's winner William Byron up there on the front row. Harvick's won here twice. Kyle Larson's been a runner-up here twice. Martin Truex, a two-time winner here. Michael McDowell continues his dream season. And Denny Hamlin, the big lap leader. There's Kurt Busch in 7th spot, right next to Chase Elliott, who always runs well here. Yeah, let's go to row 5. Alex Bowman on the outside. 3-time Las Vegas winner Brad Keselowski. Row 6, Tyler Reddick, runner-up last week alongside him, Austin Dillon. And then row 7, Ryan Newman. Boy, those Roush Fenway cars are strong this year. But how about Kyle Busch, 2009 Las Vegas winner. Row 8, Joey Logano won this race the last 2 years alongside him, Christopher Bell.
Hey, I like row 9. How about this one? Ricky Stenhouse Jr. and Chris Buescher. These guys were both up front last week. Looked good in Homestead. Row 10, Ryan Preece and Cole Custer. Cole Custer come on strong there at the end. Row 11, Ross Chastain. Daniel Suarez had a good run. Very impressive out of the 99. Row 12, my old car, 14, Chase Briscoe and Bubba. How about Bubba? Hope we get to see him today.
We're going to have to see some guys stepping up today, and I think it's Ryan Blaney's opportunity to do that.
Eric Almirola also looking for a rebound here, and Matt DiBenedetto.
I think Matt D ran so well here last year. I think he's one to keep an eye on. Needs a big run here today in Vegas.
$38 cars to contend here on the 1.5 miles. There's the balance of our starting field. Let's check in with Regan Smith.
Well, Mike, Ryan Blaney starts 26 today, but the good news for him is he nearly won this race a year ago. They resorted back to that setup, which is a very good long-run setup. They feel good about today. Jamie Little.
Chase Elliott's average finish between 2 races last year, 21st, but there was a lot more to that story. He led a combined 123 laps, won 3 of the 4 stages. Mike, I think that speed is back today.
All right, we'll see. As the 2021 Toyota Camry TRD pace car leads the field toward green and heads for pit road. Sellout crowd here in Las Vegas, capacity limited due to COVID rules. And here we go, green flag in Las Vegas.
Already a huge push out of the 5 car. Kyle Larson and Kevin Harvick got to the lead.
4 wide midfield. Look at this.
That's what we've come to expect at this racetrack, Mike, in that first corner. Guys already taking risks.
And also, you said it right there. Very risky. You have no idea what to expect with these races.
3 wide. 3 wide. Are you kidding me?
Power move to the bottom by Elliott, but he's got company. Triple wide. William Byron led the last lap last week. He leads the first lap this week.
You think this is the last lap, not the first lap.
Wow, Kevin Harvick, he's not wanting to be in the middle right here. I can promise you that.
A lot of bumps through the center down there, 1 and 2. Upset the car, the 4 car of Kevin Harvick right there.
And Jeff, you said it, this 19 car is already looking very strong. So hard to trust your car going off into that first corner. No practice, no nothing. Man, I hope this thing's not too loose.
Man, he's odds-on favorite, and here's why. He runs so good at this racetrack already, moving himself to second. Mark Truex Jr.
Help coming for Truex in the form of Denny Hamlin. His teammate. Byron up top to cover, back down to the bottom to pick up his teammate, Kyle Larson.
Michael McDowell is the real deal, guys.
That yellow car of McDowell, that Ford, hanging right with the leaders.
Well, and Michael Waltrip talked about these overcast skies, cooler temperatures, a lot of grip in the racetrack. We've been able to see the 5 of Kyle Larson and the 19 Truex stay side by side the last 2 laps.
Definitely a lot of trust in the race cars.
McDowell's 6th. They are 2 abreast for 2nd, for 4th, and for 7th, and for 9th.
Oh, we saw this play out last week between teammates Mark Truex Jr. and Denny Hamlin. Cost them the chance at one of the stage ends. Already a big block by Mark Truex Jr. to block his teammate Denny Hamlin.
Whoa, that 11 car really pushed Martin Truex into the corner very hard. You see, he got in there probably too hard, washed the car up. Now, here comes the 9 car. Man, I love it. Huh, Jeff?
Wow, this is some good racing.
Elliott challenging Larson for second.
Man, he wrapped that thing right around the bottom there. That was something Larson could not do the last time by down there. The bottom, I think, is a little bit preferred down here, 1 and 2.
Really have to lean, pull on the wheel pretty hard down there in the middle of 3 and 4. Hard corner to get through. If you get tight the least little bit and miss that bottom, you're in trouble.
Hendrick Chevys 1, 2, 3 after 5 laps.
After I saw that power move on the opening lap of Martin Truex Jr., I expected him to go right on up there, march to the front, take the lead, but
the thing I like about his car and the way he's running is the line that he's running. He's obviously right there in the middle of the racetrack. That's a pretty tough line to run, but it keeps your momentum up. You see Chase Elliott going to the outside of Larson right here. That's what you're going to have to do to pass cars. Make this track as big as possible, not pull on the wheel as hard. As the tires wear out, that'll be a preferred line that we'll look at.
Here comes Keselowski into the picture, the white car in 6th. He started 10th. And look out for Christopher Bell. That number 20's in 8th. He is up 8 spots since the start.
Yeah. Here you see Brad Keselowski coming to the front.
Yeah, that was a big move. Went all the way to the wall down in 3 and 4 to get to the quarter panel. Denny Hamlin.
Well, Jeff, already I'm seeing that I'm in trouble with my picks, my odds picks. I cannot wave of riding to what's happened, man. This is the cream rising to the top. A lot of big names up here, guys that we've seen over years.
And here comes another one, Brad Keselowski, as well as the winner here last fall, Kurt Busch.
Now, what's happened to our pole sitter, Kevin Harvick? Well, he's dropped from 1st to 11th.
Completely plowing tight. That's where on the plowing tight, you in the 48.
What we've seen where Kevin Harvick, that team usually trims out their race cars for that straight line speed. This is a track that's a little bit cooler. Maybe they can get away with that, but you don't want to lose track position if you do that.
I was just going to say, him being tight, he was up, tight in clean air. You get back there mired in traffic, it's only going to make that problem even worse.
Man, these cars are stuck to this racetrack here in Las Vegas because they're just driving with a ton of confidence, as you saw teammates side by side right there.
And Truex right in the midst of them. His Toyota and 3 Chevrolets in the top 4. The first Ford is Keselowski in 6th. Can Elliott take the lead?
He wants it really bad. He saw him going low, going high. Ooh, he got really loose right there behind William Byron, our leader.
Now, you fellas talked in the pre-race about the importance of clean air here because the air is so much less dense than it was at Homestead. Is it more of a factor?
It's just the speed that you're running. So much faster racetrack. It's hard to explain. When you come to this racetrack, there's only a couple of them that I can think of that truly get your attention. You sail that old hot rod off in a corner like, whoo-hoo-hoo, we're going.
Well, we'd love to stay here all day because this is electrifying. But we'll be right back with more of this 400-miler on Fox. NASCAR Cup Racing on Fox is sponsored by Ford. Built Ford proud. And by Credit One Bank, the official credit card of NASCAR. 15 laps complete in Las Vegas. Here's a look at today's Ford Performance Track Facts. They have 13 wins here, most of any manufacturer. Joey Logano, last year's spring race winner, the most recent. Ford won the first 3 Cup races at Las Vegas. You're riding with Brad Keselowski there, who's made it up to 4th place from 10th. And during the lineup, we talked about Ryan Blaney, who started back in 26th, and he is about to crack the top 10.
And Matt D right there with him. You got people moving all over the place. You knew that's what's going to happen, but you're also having some off the pace. Harvick, Newman, these guys are in trouble.
Let's go back to 18th, where Kyle Busch has gained some ground. Jamie?
Well, earlier today, Kyle Busch was quick to remind me that Joe Gibbs Racing as a whole Bell really struggled here in this race a year ago, so this team went to work to try to turn things around. This is his assessment of the 18 cars so far.
Really, really close to Sim. It's just getting really tight right now. Easy to slip through the front tires, shatters the front tires, center off, bolt in. I can't keep it turning. I can't stay in the gas and keep it turning.
So not a lot going right for the 18 so far. He's slipping back, Mike.
He is right now. Yep, and he's using up all the racetrack. Christopher Bell, meanwhile, his forward progress seems to be halted for the moment at 8th place. Started 16th.
We're seeing a slight change. It looks like a slight balance change. The tires are starting to change, get built up with some air pressure, because we're seeing the 9-car Chase Elliott cut the lead right here. His car's been really loose. I think other cars are starting to tighten up.
Yeah, you're hearing that on the radio. Everybody getting tighter, tighter. You heard Kyle Busch say that. Actually use a little bit of a pick and lap traffic here.
And Chase got right up against Byron's bumper to let him know it's time.
Well, this is the first time William Byron's gone to the high side. He's been really glued to that bottom, and it just looks like Chase Elliott's car rolled the top a little bit better.
Just wasn't quite committed to the top yet. You know, you saw Chase Elliott move up next to the wall, get that bigger run. William was trying to get up there. I guarantee you the spotter was in his ear saying he's coming outside, looking outside, looking outside, move up, move up. It just wasn't quite enough.
Now we're 5 laps away from NASCAR's competition caution. As in most of these races, because there is no practice and no qualifying, they'll have a caution at lap 25 so the teams can check tire wear and other adjustments.
And some of them are really, really wanting them 5 laps to get behind them. Kevin Harvick, I promise you, is wanting this thing to be under caution.
Our top 3 guys are like, no caution. This guy's about 12th on back are saying, I can't wait to make some adjustments.
Kevin Harvick started pole here last September, but never led a lap and finished 10th.
You know, this is one of those tracks when you start talking about the way your cars are trimmed out. You hear us talking about that. Jeff alluded to the 4-car, the way he likes to trim it out here. I noticed on the starting grid, Jeff, that car wasn't as trimmed out as I've seen in years past. That being said, I wonder what that's doing to his race car.
Well, I think it's making him really tight right now. He's talking about being, plowing. So that car propped up a little bit in the back with, a little more air getting to the rear might actually be making him tighter.
And the other side of that story is Blaney, who started 26th and has gained 15 positions since the drop of the flag.
Following suit with them Penske cars. I think they're all looking pretty good right now.
We've been waiting for this moment. We thought today could be the day where he shows it, and he certainly is so far.
Brian Newman is one who will appreciate the competition yellow. He's fallen to 27th. Now the starting lineup is set by a matrix. It's a mixture of last week's finish for both the owner and the driver, point standing position, and fastest lap order of last week.
Let's face it, it's a matrix of Bob Pockers. That's what it is.
That's right.
Here comes Blaney continuing to make ground before this competition caution comes out.
Top 10.
And doing it wherever they're not. You know, that's a hard thing to do right now. Your car's really got to be turning well to be right down on that white line like he was right there.
When you have a fast race car, you can go about anywhere, can't you?
So you talked about the top and then the tippy top.
Yeah. I've always said it. Even in the radio, man, he's running the top. All right, is it the top or is it the top? There is a difference.
The tippy top is when you can't slide a piece of paper in between your right side and the wall.
That's pretty high right there, but it ain't the tippy top. You've created
Jeff, I've been doing this for 40 years. I have never heard that expression. Have you?
Hey, there's a lot of things comes out.
You're the one that said tippy top.
Competition caution.
All right, we're all saved by the competition caution.
You built the term. Including me.
William Byron led 19 laps. Chase Elliott's been out front for the last 6. As we said, a sellout crowd here, up to the level permitted by the state of Nevada and Clark County and the city of Las Vegas due to COVID restrictions. They had no trouble selling tickets for NASCAR's return to Las Vegas this weekend. So this is the competition caution. Let's check in with Larry for today's race strategy, sponsored by Liberty Mutual.
Yeah, Mike, I think you'll see everybody come here and get 4 fresh tires. You want to look at the wear on the rights as far as the left, but you don't pit anymore in this stage. After this caution, you'll run it to the end. Now, stage 2 and that final stage, if we go green, you'll split those stages in half, but cautions, Mike, can certainly change my Liberty Mutual race strategy.
Okay. Stage lengths are 80, 80, and then we go all the way to lap 267. 80, 80, and 107 are the stage lengths today.
I'm glad you're doing the math, Mike. Let's keep a few things straight up here.
Yeah, right.
You see, Kyle Larson was cleaning his tires up there. It's such an important thing. You've been going around here, not much brake. That's another thing you need to warm up. Warm your tires up, make sure they're cleaned up, so when you slide into that pit, you're not going through it.
BJ McLeod will be the free pass. 29 cars on pit road. This will get real busy, Jamie.
A lot of teams were excited about this competition caution after the excessive tire wear early in the truck race and Xfinity Series race. They can check their tires. So the 9 of Chase Elliott, obviously he feels good. They're not going to adjust on that car. The 2 of Brad Keselowski, happy with him. He feels like the longer they run, the better it gets, Regan.
Well, the 5 car of Kyle Larson, upper right of your screen. He's very happy with the front grip of that race car right now. Wants to leave that alone. And the 24 of your leader, of William Byron, that car is just a little bit too free in the middle right now. The winner from last weekend.
So here's your Ram race off pit road.
And you saw where Chase Elliott was held up by Anthony Alfredo. He didn't get into his box all the way.
William Byron with a slow pit stop as well.
Close quarter racing in Las Vegas. We're under the first caution of the day. Chase Elliott lost 6 spots on pit road. You see the damage here near the jack post. We'll try to get an update on that, but that's not why he lost those spots. He slides into his box. He said it was very slick getting into the box, so he's very deep there instead of stopping shallow. So when Anthony Alfredo in the 38 comes in, not a lot of room for him. That means Chase has to back up to get out of his stall.
Yeah, you got to be real careful putting it in reverse and letting out the clutch too quickly. You can break the whole transmission driveline that way.
Pit stop comparison between Kyle Larson and Chase Elliott. Larson is your leader.
That's a double whammy for Chase Elliott. That right side damage is pretty significant.
All right, we're coming to green after the competition yellow. Pace car is in. Larson and Hamlin on the front row. Truex Keselowski and Bubba Wallace too fast exiting the pits. He will start out back. Green flag.
I think Truex lagged back a little bit to get a run on him.
Logano up top 3 wide. Harvick for 4 wide.
I mean, it's like Daytona or Talladega on these restarts. I think Kyle Larson actually got too good of a jump and had no helper there to push him like Denny Hamlin did for Brad Keselowski to take the lead.
So important to pounce on it while the time's right now. You got a rub on Kevin Harvick right there, left front fender already. You have to get it while everybody's together. A guy like Kevin Harvick needed to gain some spots. Eric Amarillo right here.
Ooh, that's pretty heavy smoke there.
And
we see it every time when we come here. We just see guys get aggressive, get 3-4 wide, and the slightest contact, and you're cutting the tire down.
Denny Hamlin just became the first car not owned by Rick Hendrick to lead this race. 31 laps in.
Brad Keselowski, I'm telling you, that car's fast, made some moves in that first run.
Look how much of that racetrack you can use all the way down to the apron, Clint.
Yeah, and I think you'll see more of that as things get compressed here at the end of the race. These restarts get more important, get closer to that money line. You'll see them on the apron.
Truex's car really quick on these opening laps on restarts.
Guys, you're talking about comparing this to Daytona, Talladega. Fresh tires. Denny Hamlin's all but running around here wide open throttle on these fresh tires.
Wow.
You talk about Hendrick Motorsports being strong. Well, their 4 teammates joining the club now. Here's Alex Bowman in the 48 Ally Chevrolet.
You know, Larry, you brought up such a good point. Put me right back in the seat. You get out there in clean air like that, wide open. Go, Cat, go. You get back there in 10th, 15th lane, you're lifting, you're out of control. Not much air in your hot rod back there.
10 cars under a blanket and then a little gap back to 11th place, Christopher Bell. Kevin Harvick has dropped to 25th and looks like he may fall further.
Yeah, all kinds of problems for Stewart Haas Racing with Kevin Harvick. Fell back from the pole position. Now he's got a rub on the left front fender. Clearly made some contact with somebody on that restart.
Second place, Ford Chevy side by side behind Hamlin's Toyota.
You saw a little wiggle there of the 12 car Ryan Blaney. He was just towards the back. You see him in that yellow and white Pennzoil Ford. That car is loose. That car is turning strong. The back end's stepping out a little bit. We saw that with Chase Elliott at the start of this race. Watch his car be really strong on the long run. Just seems like that car, when it's turning strong at the beginning of these runs, takes some time as he's making another move here, going 3 wide. I mean, it's not stopping him from making some aggressive moves going to the middle. But I'm going to watch as those air pressures build up. That's going to help that 12 car get better and better on this run.
And you saw William Byron just peeking into the scene right there. I think he lost 3 spots on pit road right there. That's a tough thing to get back. Clear back in 8th place already.
Blaney had his nose poked up there into 5th position. Truex now takes that from him, but ahead of them, here it is for second. 3 wide.
I mean, how often do we see 3 wide on the, we've seen it maybe on the lap 1, but we're, what, 5-6 laps after that caution and that restart, and we're still 3 wide.
And I'll tell you what else I'm seeing is Larson. I'm so accustomed to thinking that Kyle Larson's going to be on the outside. Everybody's, locked up almost like a freight train on the outside. He's been the lone wolf down on the bottom.
Ooh, a little bump draft in there from Chase Elliott to the rear bumper, Brad Keselowski.
Here he gets to the outside. Maybe he's wiggling around up there. He's too loose to run up there. I think that's where you see him on the bottom.
Yeah, and that opened up the door for Keselowski to get to the inside.
You see, and I kind of alluded to it right there, Jeff, there's a couple reasons. Obviously, running on the bottom, it's the shortest way around. It's rough down there in 1 and 2. Hard to latch down there, but if a car's loose, man, you want to be right down on that line. Just get me away from everybody. I got to get this thing underneath of me.
Now, that's a sign of spring right there. Ryan Blaney there in bright, daffodil yellow. He has not run a lap in the top 5 this season. Here he is. Picked a good time to do it.
Boy, and he's come from a long way back, too. So, obviously, a very strong race car. Man, how about this battle up here? 3rd and 4th position.
Yeah, you saw Brad get really loose underneath Chase Elliott. So easy to do at the speeds that you're going here. You get up there, you get close, and the air kind of takes off the nose of your car. You get tighter, and it even compiles it. It makes it worse when you get like that at the speed that we're running.
41 laps complete in the Pennzoil Las Vegas 400, presented by Jiffy Lube. Denny Hamlin out in front. The NASCAR Cup Series on Fox is sponsored by Coca-Cola Zero Sugar. Tastes unbelievably delicious. 45 laps complete. Kyle Larson now the leader over Denny Hamlin. And you still have time to enter Clint's new Stage 2 contest for your chance to win
my money.
Part of $10,000 guaranteed payout. Just download the Fox Bet Super 6 app for free. Answer 6 questions about Stage 2 for your shot to win Clint's money. Caution's out for debris, so let's look at some of those questions.
Got lap leader.
Manufacturer, fast lap, biggest mover. That's been the story here. Blaney getting up there, joining the mix.
I just want to know if Clint has any money left after being at the tables this weekend.
Some people are going to have to take some payments. Accept some monthlies on this deal.
Well, if you're wondering how long it's going to take the dirt racer Kyle Larson to get up to speed, I think he's figured it out quite nicely here, Clint, as he takes the lead on Denny Hamlin.
You know it wouldn't take him long. You really did.
So, Mike, Jeff, Clint, this is going to be very interesting here because we've only run about 16 laps. We're going to go back racing with just a little under 30 to go. I think we will see a mixed bag of strategies right here. I think the gambling is going to start a little early.
Thanks, Larry. Now, we've talked about Kevin Harvick's problems, and we're going to show you how he got his damage. But first, we listened in.
I got jump up back there, and number 43 just barely came up, and he just crashed that fender, folded it up like nothing, but they hit it just right. It wasn't terrible. I just saw the smoke and lost too many positions when I thought it had a real big rub.
Let's have a look. Turns out it wasn't just the 43 involved.
No, just 4 wide.
Yeah. Then it wasn't hard, just a little bit, but you can see it crinkle that left front up pretty good, especially right up on top of the tire.
Just kind of running out of real estate there. The corner's coming up. See, 43 just comes up a tiny bit.
By the way, what is about 180 mile an hour right there?
That's all. But how lucky was Kevin Harvick that did not cut the tire down until now? I mean, now it's down.
So it was a good call by him. When he saw that rub, he said right there on the radio, you heard him. He backed off, slowed down a little bit. Hey, that's why. That's a veteran race car driver move right there.
Saved him.
Under green, Bubba Wallace made an unscheduled pit stop. They lifted the hood, did some work underneath, put it back down. He is 3 laps down. Jamie.
Chase Elliott, there was some debate if they should come down. Remember, he had that damage on the right side. The jack in there right this time. He had missed the post on the last stop, and it crinkled up that right side. A 4-tire stop here. Brad Keselowski says his car is pretty good. Let's go down pit road to Regan.
Well, the 11 car of Denny Hamlin. That race car is just too tight right now. When he turns the wheel, he scrubs speed, so it slows the car down too much. He needs an adjustment for that. The 12 car on the left side of the screen, Ryan Blaney, he had a vibration that run, so this caution was a good break for them. They were fearful they had a loose lug nut somewhere.
Kyle Larson stayed on track and did not pit. Here's how the rest came off pit road. Under caution for debris. Second caution of the day in Las Vegas.
Universal Champion Roman Reigns and Daniel Bryan are on a collision course to Fastlane with the ultimate opportunist edge ready to take advantage on the road to WrestleMania. It's an all-new Friday Night SmackDown, live at 8 Eastern on Fox.
I'm looking at these guys, Clint, Jeff. I'm getting an idea.
I like
for
what I'm seeing there.
Look at him.
Oh, my goodness.
Hey,
he's actually pretty good at it, Mike. I mean, honestly.
So I've heard.
I got some rock. I got
pretty
some
good
good classic rock and roll in there, too, if you want some of that.
I thought holding the wheel was the only thing you could do.
All right. Jamie.
Just want to update Bubba Wallace. He's been on pit road for a while. They have an oil leak, so they're not sure if they cut a line or what. He just spent a few minutes here fixing it. He's going to continue, and we're about to go green, Mike.
All right, ready to go. And up there are the 2 Childress cars in 4th and 5th. They were back in the high teens prior to pit stops.
I think even further back than that, Mike, maybe in the 20s.
Yeah, several of them. Stenhouse, Logano, Reddick. Your leader, Larson.
I never wanted to be the first guys with old tires when the new tires are right behind me. Already 4 wide.
He saw 8 was in trouble. They tried to block the 9 on the outside. The 2 got underneath of him on the inside, put him 4 wide.
Here comes Joey Logano.
They're not going to be able to get away with these 4 or 5 wide looks and attempts for long.
Not all day.
It's going to catch up to you.
Larson, Logano for the lead with Keselowski and Dillon.
Oh, right down on him.
Teammates might be kind of a thorn in the side.
Oh, so much for that. That's exactly what I thought was going to happen, is the 2 was going to push the 22 past the 5. Steady said, not so fast. I think I'll take it.
Well, remember now, these teammates haven't been working real friendly together this year.
6 cars under the blanket for the lead.
About this.
This race has been
Let's run them off there 3 wide for the lead.
Yeah. Can you believe it's only lap 54?
I mean, I'm telling you, every lap I'm watching, I feel like it's the last lap. These guys are aggressive. And you can't break away either, Clint. You know, it just seems like the leader's sort of a sit and duck on these restarts because of the drag. Just that big spoiler pulling back. Now all the Penske cars coming to the front.
And if you're a car behind him, trying to pick which one you're going to follow, try to get a dropped off of, push them by. Something's got to break right here.
This is awesome, but this cannot last long, like you said, Clint.
Whoa, Kurt Busch got tight right there. Had to lift out of the gas.
Big run for Christopher Bell. He's going to squeeze that number 20, the red car, up through the middle. Going to get alongside Blaney, while they're 3 wide up front for the lead still.
For 2 laps, they've been 3 wide for the lead. Pretty impressive.
Little side draft to the 2-car Brad Keselowski by Larson.
The 9 actually pushed the 22 off into the lead right there, cleared down. See the 5 wiggling right there, trying to hold on to those old tires. And remember, this 9 is the one coming on new tires. First one catch them utilizing the new tires.
I'll be curious if they fix that damage to the right side, but it doesn't seem to be hurting that 9 car at all.
Joey Logano, I believe, has now led more races here than anybody. 11 straight. That's the record.
You know, if you're Kyle Larson, any of those guys that stayed out on tires, you needed to get out there in the clean air. I knew he was in trouble when Logano got down to his door right there and they were side by side, stalled him out. He needed that fresh air. I think he'd have been okay. Now he's in trouble.
Remember last week, Logano very strong and leading early, but then had difficulty as Seabell keeps working that high side.
No surprise there. These dirt guys like that high side, and Christopher Bell looking for that clean air up top there. You could see the back of Joey Logano's car moving around through those bumps. I mean, it's handling it really well, but those bumps can really upset the car down there.
Martin Truex just had a big moment coming off turn 2. He was right down on the white line, lost the car, had to chase it. There he is, all the way up to the top of the racetrack and lost a bunch of spots.
Well, this is the furthest back he has been. So is Denny Hamlin, his teammate. So there's not a lot of clean air that they've been able to maneuver through on this last restart. That's going to take the downforce away from that car in a big way.
And it's just like Mike said too, Jeff, it's the first time you felt that old girl step out on you. You know, you've been up there in that clean air, the thing's stuck like glue. You get it back there mired in traffic, and it has significantly less amount of downforce on it and way less grip.
Garrett Smithley was the free pass on that caution, so we have 32 cars on the lead lap out of 38 starters. So Truex back up to the top of the racetrack and trying to charge forward along with Hamlin, and there's Austin Dillon, who restarted up in the top 5, backing up now to 13th.
Yeah, and his teammate, Austin Dillon's teammate, Tyler Reddick, it hasn't worked out well for him staying out. He's all the way back in 22nd.
You know, another thing that I'm seeing here with the front runners, as I said it, I see the 2-car get under him. Larson, it seemed like his tires had equalized a little bit to those guys. I was watching him slip back, already talking about those old tires, and I didn't think they would hold on. As these things equalize pressure-wise, they kind of do the same thing following suit on lap time.
I tell you, Clint, I think one of the decisions by Cliff Daniels and Kyle Larson on that stop is the air pressures got built up. He's really loose on the lower temperature, lower temps of tires, lower air pressures. I think that he felt like, hey, my pressures are built up. I think my balance is good. Let's stay out. And his car was took off much stronger on that restart.
But lead change. Yes, down on the inside here comes Chase Elliott.
And I think that's exactly what you're seeing right there. Joey Logano, you saw the importance. We talked about the importance of staying out there on those old tires. You got to get to the lead and get to that clean air. Finally, those new tires of Chase Elliott surpassed him. I thought that right side damage on Chase Elliott would be more of a detriment to that car. Doesn't seem to be the case.
You mentioned Tyler Reddick. He had a concern about contact on the restart. That may be one reason why he fell so deep in the field.
And going to the 22 of Joey Logano, I mean, I almost forgot that he stayed out because he was so strong on that restart. But once you lose one position and you start to get in a little bit of dirty air, those older tires start to really show themselves.
$17 to go to the end of stage 1 as things move quickly here in Las Vegas. We're going to go Fox Side by Side.
Mondays, right?
What?
Said Mondays, right?
What about them?
Just trying to make conversation.
Switch to Progressive and you can save hundreds. You know, like the sign says.
Imagine yourself in a new Toyota.
Yeah.
Yeah. With great deals, get ready to turn your dreams into reality.
What makes an amazing deal even better? How about that every new Toyota comes with Toyota Care, a 2-year or 25,000-mile no-cost maintenance plan with roadside assistance.
Ready, set, go get your Toyota today.
Toyota, let's go places.
I am huge, a giant in every way. I am the sound of fury and the sweet smell of victory. I am the return of all the things you love about this amazing sport. Something that changes you from the very first lap. I am where seeing becomes believing, and believers know it is the return of a new season. I am NASCAR.
PNC Bank believes that if an app can help you track your pizza,
Come on, Cody, where are you, buddy?
then your bank should have the technology to help you track your spending. Virtual wallet for digital banking. One way we're helping to make a difference at PNC Bank.
Explore from anywhere. Work from anywhere. Recharge from anywhere. Anywhere is possible when your vehicle is serviced with Jiffy Lube. Your skilled technicians are here to help keep you and your vehicle moving forward. Anywhere is possible with Jiffy Lube.
I am a driver with a dream. I am the NASCAR Xfinity Series. I am NASCAR.
Welcome back to NASCAR Cup Racing from Las Vegas on Fox, presented by Jiffy Lube. 68 laps complete. Chase Elliott on the lead from Brad Keselowski. Kyle Larson was the leader on the restart. Remember, he did not pit under that caution for debris, and here's what's put him back to 10th spot.
Yeah, just rolling around the bottom, catches that white line. See the 20 of Christopher Bell gets to his outside. I don't know, it just seemed like maybe he got tight. He just had to check up.
And here's your leader. Toss and catch it.
Yeah, you saw those hands working inside the window there. He had to catch it. That car got a little loose right there, or a lot loose.
It's also why it's fast and up front.
And he's going to lose the lead right here to Brad Keselowski, perhaps, coming off turn number 4. And Keselowski has a moment.
Yeah, you just run out of real estate up there as you're coming off the bottom in 3 and 4. So much momentum, so much energy, inertia's moving up there. You need that extra real estate. Oh, well, there's a car out there.
See, Chase Elliott's going to fight back here, but ooh, yeah, wow. Brad had to leave him a little room. Definitely think Brad's best race car on the track right now.
And you said that going into this weekend, Chef, at the top of the show in the pre-race. You said the Penske cars really needed to show up, and boy, have they.
Yeah, and right behind this battle, teammate to Brad Keselowski, Ryan Blaney's coming too, so he's loving this battle in front of him.
Mustangs are running tonight.
And those three have yarded the field by about 3 seconds. Let's get down to pit road and Regan.
Well, we reported in the last pit stop that Ryan Blaney had a vibration. Things are good this run right now. As for that team as a whole, this is the part of the runs they anticipated they would be strong at. The end of the long runs they felt very good about with their race car. We're seeing that right now.
9 laps to go, stage 1. Back at 4th place, Christopher Bell's had an impressive run. Jamie?
Yes, he's made his way from 16th already, the best Gibbs car so far. He told me before the race he loves this track. He's run well here in trucks and Xfinity, and he loves that you can move around and you just stand on the gas. It's much to his liking and his driving style. He's just a little loose. They tighten him up. He's happy where he is.
This battle's not over yet. I can't get over how hard it is to maintain the lead. I thought for sure Brad Keselowski, when he had the lead, he's going to pull away from Chase Elliott. Not the case at all.
And they've actually swapped. He kept trying him on the bottom, kept trying him on the bottom. We saw him get tight off of 4 and have to bail out of the gas, running out of real estate. Now he's got to the outside. Sooner or later, it'll wear him down.
Jamie?
I actually talked to Brad this morning about today's race, and he said because of the way the cars are this year and the rules, he said it's going to be harder to protect the lead than years past. So he predicted this, and that's exactly what's happening.
No kidding. And let me quantify why we are so incredulous about the quality of racing we're seeing today.
Wait a minute. What did you say?
Yeah.
If I said dumbfounded, would that help?
Way better.
Thank
I
you.
understand now.
All right.
Ben, keep it down to our level.
You got to dumb it down a little bit for me, Mike.
I'm kidding. In September, the whole race, 267 laps, 20 lead changes. Today, 74 laps in, we've had 11 already, more than half of what we had in the whole race here last fall.
Incredible, the race that we've seen so far.
You know, we're learning that 5 car stayed out. If there's one that's wishing they probably didn't, it's them of the 5 bunch. But you got to learn that, and this is a good time to learn it early in a race like this.
I love all these cameras we've got on this 48 car with Alex Bowman. Roof cam, visor cam, bumper cam.
Watch this when he goes into the corner. See where he runs right here. It gets very rough when you go over the tunnel.
Bam, bam.
And it's exactly like that, too. Very violent in a car. Feels extremely rigid. Bam, bam is exactly a good term for that, because that's what it feels like. This thing you got 4x4s in this thing for suspension. Like.
I'm not hearing much throttle lift. I know that.
6th place, William Byron coming back toward the front, chasing Christopher Bell. By the way, we had penalties on that last caution on pit stops. Safety violation for Chase Briscoe. Daniel Suarez, his crew was over the wall too soon. And Bubba Wallace, who has some damage under hood, pitted too soon. So they all restarted at the back. There's Bubba with that camo paint job that he helped the Columbia folks design for that car.
These guys are getting after it for the lead.
And I see Brad Keselowski likes to move up top, get that momentum off the corner, get a big run, and use the draft on Chase Elliott. Chase Elliott stuck to the bottom.
And you see, he could have moved up right there and blocked, but he didn't because he wanted to stay on the bottom. Gave him that outside line. Oh, I think he's going to clear him here. He gone 2 to the lead.
And he had a slower car that affected the air to the car of 9, the 9 car of Chase Elliott as he was wanting to run that bottom lane.
He had been wearing him down for a while, but wow, stage end right there on the final lap. That's impressive for both of those guys holding on, going for that stage point. That tells you how important those stage points are, and moreover, those wins, stage wins.
Last lap of stage 1. Keselowski up by 4/10. Elliott second. Blaney, Hamlin, Bowman, the top 5. And your stage 1 winner, Brad Keselowski, for that last spot, that last point. There they are on the right of your screen.
Oh man!
Give it to Truex. Got the last stage point over Kurt Busch. How close was it?
A couple feet. I thought it was a couple inches.
Yeah. And we got a pretty good side of that right there. I was thinking it was closer. Man, I'm happy for Brad K. Funny story, I forgot my suit. This new gig's kind of hard on a guy being on the road by himself. Brad K. brought it for me.
Oh, how nice. Brad Keselowski gets his first stage win of the season. Lead changes in stage 1 ties the track record. That's where we are right now. Jamie.
Chase Elliott drove too deep into the pit box last time. You see him come in very nice, stopped short there, a 4-tire stop. Set too much right front buildup, so they'll make an air pressure adjustment there. The two of Brad Keselowski pretty happy with the car on the long run, especially, he said. And the 20th, Christopher Bell having a really nice run here. Just a little too loose. They're going to snug him up with air pressure and 4 tires, Regan.
Well, every car, Denny Hamlin, that race car is too tight with the right front right now. Started off really bad in that run and came to him. The 12 car, Ryan Blaney, he needs some help over the bumps. The car is bouncing just a little bit too much for him.
Denny Hamlin picks up 3 spots. Matt DiBenedetto 4. Joey Logano and Kyle Larson each pick up 3 as they come off pit road. BJ McLeod got the free pass, and they're repairing that sheet metal damage on Chase Elliott's car from
Mike,
the first
one reason
stop.
it's so important to repair that yellow strip at the bottom, the rocker skirt, you want that sealed to the racetrack, and it can't be sealed the way it is right now.
So we dial up our stage 1 winner there, Brad Keselowski. Hey, Brad, this is Jeff up in the Fox Sports booth. You got us?
Yes, sir.
Well, man, that hot rod's looking good up there. Boyer was just telling us a story about you brought a suit or something here. Boy, that good deed's paying off for you right now. Thing looks good. What about it?
Yeah, I hope you can't see the wrinkles. Sorry about that, Clint. I might have dropped it once. But, no, the car's pretty good. Just trying my best here. The track's really shady, as you can probably tell, Jeff. It's got a lot of grip. Kind of set up for it to lose the grip, and I think you saw that with that long run. Car just kept getting better and better. But part of the Discount Tire Ford team got us a stage win. Now we need to go bring it on home with the next stage on a race win.
Well, thanks for talking to us. You guys are putting on a heck of a show from up here, so we're enjoying the heck out of it.
It is, man. That 3-wide battle at the start was awesome.
Yes, it was. We agree. Tyler Reddick too fast exiting pit road on that stop. Now for something completely different, coming in 3 weeks. That is Bristol Motor Speedway, where first they put down a layer of sawdust, and then they brought in clay from several states and a Dr. Dirt from California to talk about the mixture of the soil.
2,000 truckloads of dirt down on that track. That's amazing.
And the Cup cars are going to race on it, and we're going to bring it to you.
The conductor was orchestrating the dirt as it was laid down.
I hope that it's better dirt than we had over here at this dirt track doing that piece of them goggles. Boy, it was dusty.
Aerial coverage provided by Goodyear for those that push the limits of possibility. Goodyear, more driven. Regan.
Well, the 11 car, Denny Hamlin, you see him leading right now. Not overly happy with that car. Listen to this.
We're at least in the ballpark. Well, I'm getting to the point where I need jack stands, unfortunately. But I think we got something we can work with here. Let's keep digging.
Get to a point where I need jack stands. I like that. I've never heard that line before.
What's he mean by that?
It means he's going to have to put it up, to get underneath of it and do some more work if he's going to get any speed out of it. It's going to take jack stands to do that. He's only got weight jack bolts. That's all he's got.
He's still
all right, Hamlin and Keselowski on the front row. Bowman and Blaney, DiBenedetto, Logano, Byron and Bell, Larson and Kurt Busch are the top 10. We're going to listen to Denny Hamlin's spotter, Chris Lambert. Here they come to the Geico restart zone.
Green, green. Can he get to you? Neither one of us have him. Now he's on you. Most of us have help. Most of us have help. 2 by 2. It's all in line. 2 by 2. Still out there at your door. Off of you now. Neither one of us have help. Half back to the bottom. Half to both lanes. Just you and the 2. No runs coming. Drag him back if you can. 2 by 2. 2 by 2. Still there. Still there. Still there. Half to the 12 now. Still outside. 12 to the top with the 2. We have no help on the bottom.
Still there. You're going to hear that all day.
Gonna wear out some batteries on that radio today.
And they're still minding their piece of cues right now. You wait till the end of this thing. You get down to that last stage and the money's on the line, the pay window is open. That communication, that guy's voice is going to be a lot higher than it was right there.
Side by side for third, Hamlin inside of Bowman.
get right back to the point.
No, that might spell a little bit of trouble for the competitors. They might have tweaked on that thing on that last pit stop, made it even a little bit better.
Alex Bowman, man, I tell you what, he's been slowly but surely finding his way up to the front. You get him out here in clean air, and he's going to be dangerous. He's going to like what he feels up here.
He and Blaney were kind of the class of the field here a year ago. Towards the end of this race.
Blaney, you said it again, going back to the pre-race show, Jeff. He needed a big day right here. He is extremely fast. When I think of Ryan Blaney, I think, you know, he's going to run that car hung out. He's going to have it freed up. That's going to be fast on a long run on a track like this.
How about De Benedetto? 21 car there.
Same boat.
Good racetrack for him.
Yeah, second both races last year, I believe.
3 of the Penske and Penske affiliate Wood Brothers cars in positions 1 through 3, and Logano not that far behind them. They fan out in formation off turn 2 like that. They look like the Thunderbirds doing the flyover in pre-race, didn't they?
Right here. Man, how cool was that flyover?
You saw that 12 car. Got the old huckabuck going on through there. Oh, look at this move right here. Matt D. That thing was dancing. He was walking it all the way through the corner in 3 and 4.
I couldn't tell Matty D was trying to go to the outside of Blaney or just trying to block Denny Hamlin.
Well, honestly, I think Blaney got kind of sideways like I was talking about and was walking his car through the corner. Maybe had to lift a little bit. That's what enabled Matt D to have that big run on him.
And that results in a 3 wide for 4th place.
You just can't check up. When you get that run, you just got to fill whatever gap you see. Right there, the 5 of Larson was thinking about going 3 wide between Denny Hamlin and his teammate William Byron. It's just not something you normally see it, you know, this early into these runs.
Kind of got to pick and choose your battles right there. You said on a run, he was looking at the 3 wide. That may not have been where he wanted to be. Arrow-wise and situational-wise, you don't always want to take that run if it only helps.
Car in the wall back straightaway. That was Eric Jones. He bounced off and kept going. But lost a whole lot of momentum in that number 43.
Well, now you got to be worried about that right side.
He was 16th.
See how much damage there is.
Here's a look at it.
Doesn't necessarily look like
I just got a little bit loose. I mean, I really
a little bit loose. I think it just barely kissed it and actually did a great job as that thing touched it, straightened him right up.
Yeah, he just got the corner of the bumper, didn't get the actual fender, so he should be okay.
As soon as he gets everything gathered back up, he'll be fine.
Yeah, I said a little bit loose. It looks like a little bit loose from up here. It's a lot loose from down there inside the cockpit.
His cup overflowed. That's all. Let's check in on our leader, Jamie.
Well, after Brad Keselowski won that last stage, his boss man, Roger Penske, queued up the radio.
Great run there, Brad. That was fun. Worked him over. That's what you had to do. Real good speed. Car was really good on a long run there. I heard somewhere that loose is fast.
It's always good when the captain comes on the radio and gives you props.
Such a neat voice and such a racer. You know, as an owner, it's so cool that he is, you know, it's so involved with his racing. I mean, what his communication was right there. I love the fan in Roger Penske.
We're 16 laps into stage 2, which is 80 laps long. Keselowski and Blaney up front. NASCAR Cup Racing on Fox is sponsored by Toyota. Let's go places. And by Credit One Bank, the official credit card of NASCAR. 101 laps complete in Las Vegas. Keselowski the leader. It's tournament time. The Big East tournament tips off at Madison Square Garden. Will Villanova take the conference crown? Will Creighton or Seton Hall rise up? Or will some Cinderella team emerge? You can catch all the excitement March 10th through 13th on Fox, FS1, and the Fox Sports app.
So fun to follow that.
Well, right now, it's Team Penske that has risen up to the top. Here in Las Vegas, Brad Keselowski, Ryan Blaney, Kyle Larson, and William Byron hanging with them, and Denny Hamlin.
Look at him get loose as he pulled that thing off into the corner. Brad Keselowski right there, very loose as he got into turn 3.
Yeah, he's getting all the air to the nose of that number 2 car.
Now, Chase Elliott repaired a lot of damage on pit road, restarted 28th. He has climbed 14 spots since under green. So here's Larry with today's right combination, sponsored by Subway.
Yeah, Mike, Chase Elliott, his crew chief, Alan Gustafson, and this 9 team, this is their 6th season together. They have 11 wins over the last 3 seasons, including 5 last year. Obviously hoisted the trophy as the 2020 Cup Series championship. Now, Chase is still looking for his first Las Vegas Cup win, but I think this combination they've got going today, they may get it today.
He's led a lot of laps here, that's for sure.
Tell you what, Ryan Preece actually made a pass on Chase Elliott while we were on board there.
Preece to 14th.
And then this battle here up front. Whoa, Willie B coming to the inside. And we saw 5 of Kyle Larson move to 2nd place.
Shows you the momentum that you're able to carry as you're rolling through 3 and 4 up on the outside wall like that.
You got so many cars racing under a blanket. I've just been told I'm out of blankets.
Better be a big blanket.
Yeah, I need a new metaphor.
You know, Mike, Jeff, and Clint, we are almost 20 laps into this run. Brad Keselowski in the 2 has not lifted the throttle since he got to high gear on the restart.
Wow. I mean, we've seen that with a car that's not up to speed, but for a leader?
Well, I think that just shows you how they're trimmed out, too, right? He hasn't lifted out of the gas, but he just got passed. Explain that to me. Explain that to me, Larry.
That's called downforce, baby, but not enough straightaway speed.
Yes, sir. Trimmed out. Well, and you can see now Brad's moved up to the top groove. He's going to try to use that momentum off the top, use the draft. It's hard to keep the lead. You see the 5-car Larson seemed to easily take that lead. Side drafted off Brad Keselowski going into turn 1, took the lead, but now Brad's coming right back. You can see the draft 3-4 miles per hour to Brad Keselowski. He's in the tire tracks of our leader right now, Kyle Larson.
Leaders work around Quinn Houff.
Whoa, big moment for the 2-car. Brad Keselowski car jumped sideways as he got down into the bottom behind. He tried to actually stay behind the 5 of Larson, lost the downforce. Now here comes William Byron.
I think you're right, exactly right. That's what happened. The 5-car pulled it down. He crossed wakes with him and got extremely loose.
Tell you what, this 24-car William Byron and Rudy Fugle, new crew chief this year, they're for real. I mean, last week, we were like, wow, where'd he come from at Homestead? But he's right there again today. And this is a track that they haven't had some great finishes at.
That's such a cool shot right there, Brad. Way up to the outside, him running right down on the bottom. Cool thing about this racetrack is the ability to do that. And it wasn't always that way. When they repaved this track, it really lended itself to that kind of racing.
Yeah, it seems like it's not as abrasive where the tires really get are grinding up and wearing down and losing a lot of grip, but it just seems like there's an ability of this track. It loses just enough grip where you move around the racetrack and makes for this great racing that we're seeing here.
The other thing is when we went to this downforce and this engine package, it really lended itself. It's almost, especially early on a restart, close to like a replaced type driving like a Talladega and Daytona, but not quite.
Let's go to the tail end of the top 10. Joey Logano ran quite well in the early going. He led 7 laps, and now he's in danger of falling out of the top 10. Ricky Stenhouse trying to move on Logano.
Also, that sun's popping out here just a little bit. Might be changing the track temperature, changing the track conditions, and maybe the balance on some of these race cars, even though he's talked about these guys up front not lifting.
Great point. You immediately see these cars starting to move around and wiggle around as they're getting into the corner, getting a little bit looser with every lap goes by. But honestly, it's probably exactly what you just said, the sun getting on the racetrack, making this thing slick.
Ricky Stenhouse, you saw behind Logano in 11th. Good day for JTG Doherty with Stenhouse 11th and Ryan Preece in 15th. Good to see fans back at the track in Las Vegas. 33 complete in stage 2. Bring your crew on a private island getaway with the Natural Light Natterdays Pineapple Lemonade. Right now, tweet hashtag Natterdays and hashtag sweepstakes and tag 5 of your friends for your chance to win. Welcome back to Las Vegas. 38 of 80 laps complete in stage 2. Kyle Larson in front of William Byron. Ryan Blaney has taken 3rd from Brad Keselowski. About halfway through this stage, Larry.
Well, and that's what's going to set up some interesting strategy, Mike. We went back racing with 73 to go in this stage. If you split it in half, that means here in about the next 6 to 8 laps, you're going to be coming to pit road for 4 fresh tires. But I truly believe with the way the pace is not slowing down that much, we'll see some drivers running it out long. That's exactly what Kurt Busch did in September that led to him ended up winning the race.
There's 4th place that just changed hands as Larry was talking race strategy.
I think Hamlin just needed a little bit longer run. That car's not so bad on the long run. It's not ready for jack stands.
No. Eric Almirola, the Smithfield Power Bites cam. Good to have them back with us this week. And battling Daniel Suarez, who led some laps last week in Homestead.
Boy, I really expected Mark Truex Jr. He fired off so fast at the start of this race, even the next restart after that. I expected this 19 of Truex to be up there really battling for the lead. Maybe this long run will pay off for him, just like his teammate Denny Hamlin.
So we've run 120 laps. Only 2 of those laps has there been a gap of more than 1 second between the leader and 2nd place.
Unreal.
Regan.
We guys mentioned the 19 of Martin Truex Jr. in 7th place. It's been a struggle for that team all day long. They just can't get the front tires to work like he wants to. Very inconsistent with that race car getting tight too often on him.
Yeah, it seems like the guys that are fast are loose. Their front tires are working really good. And you know, now we'll see if maybe see the 22 hit pit road here, as well as Christopher Bell. A couple of them on pit road.
Alex Bowman, the first to pit. Green flag stops. Jamie.
Christopher Bell coming in saying he fired off better there, but all these teams up and down pit road saying they're just a little bit tight. They were building tight, so they want to free him up a little bit. Same story with the 48 of Alex Bowman, Regan.
Joey Logano, another one of those race cars that has been fighting the front turn, can't get his front tires to do what he wants to do, so they're stopping just a little bit early here to try and make up some time, as well as the 4 car. Kevin Harvick doing the same. Jamie?
Well, like Brad a lot of times is, he's opposite of a lot of these teams. He's just too loose there on that run, so they'll make that air pressure adjustment. You see that adjustment there on the chassis, Regan.
Denny Hamlin right now, that race car is to the tight side, but as he said earlier, we need to put it on jack stands to make it any better. Not too bad overall, I'd say.
Kyle Busch, Ryan Newman in. Ricky Stenhouse done, and Kyle Larson carried a lot of speed onto pit road.
Well, you could see that brake smoke coming off the front of the 19 car. These guys using up all the brakes getting to pit road.
Regan.
Kyle Larson, you see him on the left side of the screen. A great recovery for these guys after staying out a couple pit stops ago on old tires. Right now, the strong point for this race car, turns 1 and 2, he can really roll the bottom better than most.
Ryan Blaney's in. William Byron now the leader from Matt DiBenedetto. Here's a look at the pit entry for Kyle Larson.
Well, and you want to stay out on the racetrack and utilize that banking to get the car slowed down as much as possible. That was almost using too much of it.
Regan.
Ryan Blaney having a very solid race with the 12 car right now. He's been happy on the radio, hasn't had much to say to the team, just trying to get a little more track position to get up and battle with the 2 cars that have been in front of him.
Chase Briscoe in left of your screen. There are still a dozen cars who have yet to pit on the lead lap. Kurt Busch has just come on to pit road from 3rd place.
You said it right there, Mike. Lead lap. Very difficult situation here as you're a crew chief trying to look at things and decide when your strategy is you're going to pit right here. You can't let it go too far because these leaders are laying some really nice lap times down. You're going to go a lap down.
So, guys, William Byron in the 24 car leading this race right now. I sat down with him this week and did a little bit of an interview, and I said, William, winning race number 3, what does that do for you guys? He said it lets us be more aggressive, and that's exactly what they're doing. Because right now, if we get a caution, there's only 8 drivers on the lead lap.
And I think they're being a little bit more aggressive with that race car being a little trimmed out, too, because he's got some good straightaway speed. Maybe some of these other guys have a little more downforce built in there.
It affords you to do that, make those decisions, all of those things.
Matt DiBenedetto pits out of 2nd place. And that leaves, I think, 9 drivers who have not yet been to pit road among the lead lap drivers. Led, of course, by Byron.
Hand out the window there for our leader, William Byron, probably coming to pit road this time.
Nice and smooth. Good job, driver. Hey, with that kind of lead, you wanted to get it, but you don't need to push it and overstep it. The only thing you can do right there is hurt yourself.
Eric Almirola also on pit road. On the right of your screen, Tyler Reddick will assume the lead from Michael McDowell and Anthony Alfredo and Corey LaJoie. Daniel Suarez, Cole Custer, Justin Haley also have yet to pit. They're all lead lap cars. Regan.
Last week, winners William Byron very quick again this week. This team really wanted to focus on this race because they were not good here last year in the playoffs. This is going to be a key race as we go further on later this season. That car also needs front turn, a common theme up and down pit road here.
Now watch his exit as he transitions concrete to the asphalt and how much wheel spin he might have had. That is why Rodney Childers, who had the first pick of pits, did not choose pit stall number 1 where Byron is pitting. He said they spun the tires too much in that stall.
And it only hurts you more in a green flag stop, Mike, when all the cars are up to speed. William Byron, by being a little conservative getting to pit road, we saw how aggressive the 5 car of Kyle Larson was. He's lost a bunch of time to those guys, and now here goes the 12 car of Blaney by as the 24 cars getting up to speed. That's going to be our battle for the lead. Right now, our leader is Tyler Reddick because he hasn't pitted yet.
But Reddick is a full second slower than the cars that are on new tires right now. So still 7 cars yet to pit in this sequence. There's Alex Bowman. And second place, Michael McDowell, your Daytona winner, who also has kind of a free pass in this case. He's in the playoffs by winning Daytona.
And again, they can be aggressive. They can stay out. Let's see what happens.
He's playing with house money, Jamie.
Exactly. You know, Michael McDowell came into this race with the best average finish on the season of all drivers. 5th. Well, I talked to his crew chief, Drew Blickensturfer, and he said, we're going to get back to reality in today's race. We would be happy with the top 15. This is just a more challenging racetrack for them. They haven't had a bad day at all by any means. He said just a little bit tight. They're going to work on staying out here, go for the long run.
Top 15 is the goal. I think it's obtainable. I honestly think they're going to surpass that. Gutsy calls like this, being able to keep yourself in the game, utilizing strategy, that all goes into getting down to the end of this race. If the cautions start happening, you just might find yourself with another top 10, maybe even a top 5.
Cole Custer makes his stop, as does Cody Ware. Tyler Reddick, your leader under green. The NASCAR Cup Series on Fox is sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Save when you bundle auto, home, or motorcycle insurance. 58 complete. Michael McDowell takes the lead after the pit stop by Tyler Reddick. Now let's check in on the questions in Clint's Stage 2 contest on the Fox Bet Super 6 app. Who will have led the most laps by the end of Stage 2? Which of those drivers? Right now, Chase Elliott has led 22. Denny Hamlin has led 17. So they'd be your top choices right now.
It's going to be close. Man, just look at that list of drivers right there. This is not at all following suit to this year, Jeff. This is not at all how I saw this going. With the 4 car starting on a pole, did you not think he would be leading the most laps right now?
I thought he'd have led a ton of laps to start this race.
Well, how about this top 5? Michael McDowell, Anthony Alfredo, Corey LaJoie, Kyle Larson, Daniel Suarez.
We told you it was going to be wild this year.
Yeah, and these guys, we talked about McDowell taking some risk. Their risk is that they want the caution to come out. If the caution doesn't come out, he's going to be way behind.
And pretty fast,
Jeff,
too.
It better come pretty quick because 2, maybe 3 laps is all he has left.
Yeah, now Larson has pitted of that top 5. Just 4 drivers left to make their stops. You know, by the time stage 2 ends here, we will have had more lead changes than in the first 2 stages of the Daytona 500, where the lead changes hands about every couple of seconds, it seems.
You know, the unpredictability of this season continues. I thought it was going to end today, but it hasn't.
How about Anthony Alfredo? Now, yes, they have yet to pit, but he is getting his moment up here in second place, 2.2 seconds back of Michael McDowell. A driver that has never run a full season in any of NASCAR's National Series. And quite a surprise to be promoted to that 38 car for 2021. But there he is up in second place. And there's face, Corey LaJoie.
I love it when they put him on the front.
Yep. Having a good ride here. Now in 4th place, Kyle Larson has gone by. But LaJoie in 4th. Yet to make his stop, and also Daniel Suarez, who led some laps last week. How about Marcus Lemonis? He had 10 trucks in the truck race here Friday night, all painted exactly like that. I'm just glad I wasn't Vince Welch and have to figure all that out.
That would have been.
It's the blue truck, Sid.
You could see a little bit of damage to the front nose on Daniel Suarez, number 99 Chevy there.
Jamie on our leader.
Well, Michael McDowell can technically go about 7 more laps, according to his crew chief, Drew Blickensturfer, but he's going to bring him in about 4 laps, and he told him because they're going to have to race for the lead to stay 1 lap down. They're going to have to race against the leader of the race, so he's thinking ahead and calculating all those things. It hurts my head just thinking about it.
His too. Well, he's running 31.60s. Now Kyle Larson, who is now up to 3rd, Larson running 30.75, or just a little more than a second quicker than the leader.
Yeah, what does that equate to? About 6 miles per hour.
Is he trying to save a little bit, though, or is he going as hard as he can go?
He's praying for a caution.
Yeah.
That's all he's praying for.
I guess that's the only thing you have.
And then they're hoping for a flawless execution on pit road so they don't go down a lap.
So now everyone has stopped with the exception of McDowell, Alfredo, and LaJoie. And because here comes the 99 of Daniel Suarez. And McDowell has his hand out the window. He's led more laps here than any other racetrack in his NASCAR Cup career. And he'll surrender the lead and come to pit road. And your new leader is Fast Pasta, Anthony Alfredo. He'll lead this lap. I don't think he'll lead the next one because Larson's just bearing down on him in turn 2. All right, al dente. And Kyle Larson takes the lead.
And I'll tell you what, Kyle Larson's built up a hefty lead through that pit sequence. Once Alfredo gets to pit road, that next car back of Brad Keselowski, pretty far back there.
Larson's Hendrick Chevrolet takes over the lead in Las Vegas with 13 to go in stage 2, side by side.
Over 10 years ago, we made a promise to redefine everything a truck can be. And while we've made good on that promise by winning back-to-back-to-back Motor Trend Truck of the Year awards, the work is never done.
I am chaos in a good way. I am everything you want to see at once, coming at you like a comet on fire. I am bumping, banging, and battling to the finish.
It is all on the line.
Because if you can conquer this series, you can conquer anything.
That was some intense racing.
I am the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. I am NASCAR.
The next great flavor from Wendy's is here. The new Jalapeno Popper Chicken Sandwich and Salad. All the Jalapeno Popper flavor you love with our famous spicy chicken. Because Wendy's goes all in on flavor, unlike other places.
We put a bun inside the sandwich. Bun, bun, bun.
Bun, bun, bun.
We got it. Bun, bun, bun. Bun, bun, bun. Bun, bun, bun.
Want more flavor than more bread? We got you with the new Jalapeno Popper Chicken Sandwich and Salad at Wendy's.
I am the return of all the things you love about this amazing sport. It is the return of a new season. I am NASCAR.
This is a stage, the Mecca, the Big East Tournament, where the Wildcats begin their run at a national title, where Creighton and Seton Hall stake their claim for the conference throne, where stars like Champagne and Bouknight look to put on a show. And we all know, under the Garden Lights, any team can be the one to rock the glass slipper.
What a game! That's a goal!
The Big East Tournament, March 10th through 13th on Fox FS1 and the Fox Sports app.
Welcome back to Las Vegas. Here's the Xfinity fastest lap. Last time by, William Byron was quickest. Denny Hamlin, Brad Keselowski, Alex Bowman, and Ricky Stenhouse, all of whom have newer tires, I think, than Kyle Larson, just about the same as Kyle Larson, who's our race leader over Brad Keselowski, with 8 laps to go in stage 2. Now, before pit stops, Kyle Larson had a 0.6 of a second lead. And once we cycled through green flag stops, his lead now 5 full seconds over Brad Keselowski. Biggest lead of the day.
Yeah, when all these restarts, and that was our first time we had a green flag pit stop, and it seems like you're just able to break the draft, and once you can break the draft, then you can maybe pull away. But as soon as the stage is in and that caution comes out again, they're going to stack right back up and not be able to get away from one another.
Absolutely. The other thing that I've seen Kyle Larson do, he's moving around. He's finally found the outside of that racetrack, really widen this place up and finding some lap time.
Caution-free stage 2 so far with 7 laps to go. Comers and goers, and one of the goers is Joey Logano, who is now back at 14th position.
If I run a bottom, it gets pretty good down in, and then as I get to the 2/3, it starts to four-wheel drift. When I run up, I just four-wheel drift.
So that 2/3, that's 2/3 of the way through the corner. They break that corner down into different sections, quarter, half, 2/3, however you want to do it. Every driver does it a little bit different. So obviously that's a way to get information back to the crew chief to help them try to make adjustments.
You sound totally like me trying to tell some. A quarter in and a 2/3 off.
Two totally different tracks, but almost the same scenario as last week. Up there, first stage, half the stage 2, and then started fading. Talking about Joey Logano.
Yeah, that's a good point. And, this track also starting to lay down more rubber. It sounded to me from listening to Joey Logano, they're looking for grip, right? It's loose in, it's a 4-wheel drift up off the corner. And I'm looking at this racetrack, it's definitely laid down more rubber. The grooves wind out a lot more.
Kind of went back to what I was talking about with the leader and Kyle Larson. I saw him widen this racetrack out where he's not pulling on the wheel as much. That doesn't create all that 4-wheel slide and stuff like that.
And in stage 1, the sun kept playing peekaboo with the clouds. Not so much sun here as we get late in the second stage.
Yeah, it seems to be just kind of an overcasty, just kind of hanging in there, consistent right now.
Kevin Harvick back at 16th, Ryan Preece 15th, and on the left is the Stewart-Haas running order.
I'm shocked.
Yes.
I'm shocked, not just by Kevin Harvick. I mean, we've seen him separate himself from his teammates and be able to be kind of the charger and the guy that leads laps and sets the bar for Stewart-Haas Racing. But all the Stewart-Haas cars are really struggling, Clint.
This track always seemed to be one of those for us. When I was in that car, it was hit or miss. We'd come one year and it could never seem to get consistent and find the balance that I needed. But those Fords are going to be You can't keep a team like that down. They're going to figure it out. It's early in the season. You're going to go back to what we always say. When you come back from the West Coast, you reevaluate where you're at. They're doing some evaluating today for sure.
Kyle Larson has led more laps today than in his previous 9 Las Vegas races combined.
Well, we were all curious, what would Kyle Larson do when he gets into some Hendrick Motorsports equipment? He's certainly shown it here today.
Odds-on favorite to win the race is the Stage 2 winner, whoever it is. Now, Kyle Larson does not have a victory in the Cup Series on a 1.5 mile track. He's finished second on these size tracks 9 times.
Yet.
Yeah. Green and white checkered flag for Kyle Larson. He is your Stage 2 winner over Brad Keselowski, Denny Hamlin, William Byron, and Ryan Blaney. Alex Bowman holds off Christopher Bell for 6th. There's Kyle Larson, your Stage 2 winner.
This week on NASCAR Race Up, presented by Wendy's, we've got a pair of high rollers in the house. Joey Logano and Chad Canals join us to recap Vegas, plus see who rolled the dice and who folded under pressure in Sin City. It's radioactive. That's all this week on NASCAR Race Hub, weeknights 6 p.m. Eastern on FS1.
That's where you got to go to catch up on everything NASCAR all week long before we get to the racetrack here on Sunday. Pits are going to be open this time. Larson, the stage winner, and you see the parity, Chevy, Ford, Toyota, top of the board. Tyler Reddick will get the free pass here at the end of stage 2. Here's Jamie.
Could be trouble brewing for the 48 of Alex Bowman, who just reported that he had a small vibration, but he also smelled smoke in the car. They'll keep an eye on that. He got a tear off in 4 tires for the 48. Meanwhile, bottom right, the 2 of Brad Keselowski. Car feels pretty good, just a little bit free. Air pressure adjustment in that right rear tire, Regan.
The top right of your screen, Denny Hamlin. His race car right now is bouncing just a little bit too much with the front of it. He does like how good it's turning. Bottom left of the corner, William Byron, that race car has been pretty decent. He's been very quiet on the radio. And the number 5 car, Kyle Larson, his race car, they can't hear him. That's their biggest issue. His radio's not close enough to his face.
Byron is stalled trying to get off pit road. Here's your Ram race off pit road. They gave William Byron a push, and he got out, but...
Well, they've been struggling with that number 1 pit stall. That stall is slick.
Mm-hmm. Let's dial up Kyle Larson. Hey, Mr. Kyle Larson, it's Bory up in the booth. How are you? Great conversation. Appreciate you there, buddy. Holding it pretty well.
Try me again.
Hey, Kyle Larson, it's Bory up in the booth. How are you? It's phenomenal.
Okay.
This is the best conversation I've ever had with him. Well, you know, the car's pretty good. It's kind of fun up here. Seems like it's pretty fast.
That's exactly what it would have said.
Great combo. Thanks for nothing. Here comes the 9 car. Man, I love it. Huh, Jeff?
Wow, this is some good racing. Teammates might be kind of a thorn in the side.
Oh,
3 wide.
So much for that.
That's the kind of racing we have seen all day in the Pennzoil 400 at Las Vegas, presented by Jiffy Lube. Here they come to the choose zone, where each driver gets to choose a lane.
Better choose wisely.
Mike, the way these restarts have been going, they wish they could choose a 3rd lane, because these guys have been 3 wide on every restart.
I don't know what to hear. We're racing.
You can see him checking up. It'd be interesting to see. You'll hear his spotter probably tell him how many cars are in which line. Or nothing. I think I'm going to go on the bottom. Thanks for nothing.
Look at that last second decision by Alfredo there.
Guys, I talked to some spotters this week. They said they have data that gives them the success rate of every restart spot at every racetrack we go to.
They do, and they'll relay that back to the spotters, which comes to the drivers.
They just don't give them time to analyze it. Let's take a look at where the Coca-Cola family of drivers are in the field. Denny Hamlin will restart second. Joey Logano on row 6. Austin Dillon, row 9. Ryan Newman, row 10. Daniel Suarez.
The King! The King is here. And
the Intimidator.
Yeah, the Intimidator.
Spot on. Perfect. Great job.
And where's Elvis in this picture, too?
Somewhere in this crowd, there's got to be a Jeff Gordon impersonator. I know there is. Here we come to the Geico restart zone for stage 3 with 101 laps to go in Las Vegas. Green flag.
Saw the Kyle Larson move up to block the 11. I knew he was going to get to this bumper and get him pretty loose.
Well, now he's going to give him a big push down the back straightaway. Look at Gibbs. Joe Gibbs Racing right now, second, third, fourth. I don't know. You might be able to give fifth to Christopher Bell on the outside.
Kyle Busch, where did he come from? 4th place.
Man, these restarts are just crazy.
And they're only going to get crazier. Listen to the throttle on time right here. Just barely out of the gas, and that's waiting on Kurt to get it gathered up in front of him. Yeah, not a lot of throttle off at all.
Kurt lost a bunch of momentum right there in the middle, 3 and 4. Boy, Denny may have a run on our leader. Yes, he does.
Oh, trouble.
Chase Elliott.
Chase Elliott around, evasive action, and he's going to get clear without contact.
Wow. Hey, that might be a put it out next week.
That is, man. 360, keep her going. Great driving right there.
Lap 169, 5th caution of the day.
And Clint, you called it. We knew on these restarts, these guys are just so aggressive, bump draft and everything else. You just knew it was a matter of time before there was an incident. Some damage to that left front fender on the 9 of Chase Elliott.
Chase was in 11th place. He lost 14 spots with that spin, but stays on the lead lap.
Yeah, but they're going to have to come down pit road, patch up those holes. You know, aerodynamics so important. Drag, we saw how important, you know, not having a lot of drag down the straightaways are going to be. See Alan Gustafson come down off the pit box.
All right, Chase, right in the middle of your screen. Let's see what happens here.
Well, you saw that Joey Logano had it. Oh, he just gets loose.
Just the air off of those two cars. He got up there.
Caught a piece of Kurt Busch there, I think.
He did, but you could see he was gaining momentum through the corner, and he had a car up in front of him, so that's taking the air off Chase Elliott. I don't know if Kevin Harvick, you know, where he was located, but obviously there was just very little downforce to the car, to the 9 car of Chase Elliott.
Yeah, hit Kurt Busch in that right rear. It'd be interesting to see what his right rear is like. They may have to pit, you know, how close. Yeah, I see Kurt coming like he's going to come down pit road. I'd say right rear fender is such an important fender.
Matt DiBenedetto, nice job getting that car down to the apron and out of harm's way. Didn't have a lot of time to react to that. Let's ride with Eric Almirola on our Smithfield cam.
Even 2 Chronics behind.
Chase, of course, is on pit road, but here's what he said.
No, I was okay there. I just got right in his wake.
That's what we talked about. You know, it was not just the 20 of Christopher Bell's wake. There's the right rear damage to the 1 of Kurt Busch, but it was also the wake of the air coming off the 4 car of Kevin Harvick.
Champion Chase Elliott brings out the caution in Vegas. Welcome back to Las Vegas. So at the end of stage 2, who won Clint's money? 6 winners. Got all 6 questions right. They split $10,000. That is $1,666.66 each.
We're starting to get into some big money now for those
big
folks.
winners right there.
That's
what
cool.
a great job. That's why you pick 6 every week. Fox Bet. It's easy. It's a free app. You got to go on there and do it. It's my money. Come get it.
Free to play. Free to win. All right, where are we now? We've had more lead changes in Las Vegas than we had at Daytona at this stage in the race.
Well, Clint talked about this earlier. These restarts, everyone that we get to the end of this race now with are going to get more aggressive. You're running out of time. Urgency is there. I think we're going to see more of what we just saw. Some cars spinning out, some cars banging into one another, tires going down. This thing is a long way from over.
The other thing I see is cars getting established. Kyle Busch has entered the mix. The Gibbs cars are starting to show up, just like we did last weekend at Homestead. The race kind of flip-flopped. What was it? It was a caution that nobody counted on. That's what we just saw.
Unpredictability continues.
Or shocking. I think that was my word.
Yeah, it was. How about awesome? That's a word.
I don't know. Best season ever. I'm becoming a believer. Here's your Toyota top performers. Denny Hamlin, Martin Truex, Kyle Busch up there, Christopher Bell. Bubba Wallace had power steering difficulty early in the race. Getting ready to restart.
Camo suit is awesome.
94 laps to go. 3 Toyotas in the top 4 as we get set to go back to green. Kyle Busch trying to get to the front and I believe lead his first laps of the season, if he can.
Still full. Still 1.5 back to the 2. Little run. Half. On your tight here.
It's the 19 spotter, Drew Herring.
Watch this run on the outside with all 3 of those cars locked together.
Clear. Bottom still full. Bottom still full. Just you in the 5 there. He's still hanging. Still there quarter. Still there quarter. 1 back to the 2-gear lane. 5 still bottom. 5 still bottom. Still there full. Still there full. 2 cars half lane up. 1 back. Still there full bottom. Still there full bottom. Still there full bottom. Quarter, bumper, clear.
Now Chase Elliott is still on the lead lap after making repairs back in 27th as Hamlin, Truex, Larson, Keselowski, Blaney, and Kyle Busch fight for the lead.
It's interesting to me, the 5 of Kyle Larson, we've been talking about him. He can lead on a long run, really struggles on a short run to stay up there and up front, has to defend these guys off. A lot of blocking. This is close racing right
Really
here.
wide down the back straightaway. 12 of Blaney just got to the quarter pound of the 5. They almost made contact going into turn 1. Here's a look at it. Kyle Larson, kind of a late block. Man, the 12 of Blaney, I think he had to check up there to keep from running into him, but still was able to get to the outside, make it 3 wide off of turn 2.
That's exactly what I was talking about, though. I don't know. It just doesn't seem to have the sheer speed in the car. It takes a few laps for that thing to come in.
Well, and you knew that 5 of Larson was in a little bit of trouble when he had 3 Joe Gibbs teammates all surrounding him on that restart.
Haven't had much of a chance to take a breath today, but we're going to for a couple of laps here. How about a Fox crank it up? Car in the wall, turn 1. Eric Almirola. I believe he may have cut down a tire because that car just, Jeff, did not turn.
I'm telling you, Mike, I would not be surprised if he made a little bit of contact with somebody, and that's what cut that right front tire down for Eric Almirola.
It's going to be hard to tell because he was in the wall so hard afterwards.
Oh, left front.
Left front.
Left front.
Exactly like the 4 car.
6th caution flag of the day. And it comes out with 88 laps to go. We're going to ride with Almirola and watch the 7 of Corey LaJoie on this replay.
Back straightaway going into turn 3. Well, right there, he's having trouble. It's going down.
Couldn't get to pit. Had no chance to get to pit.
I think you're seeing he's got a problem here trying to slow down, and then it's going to go all the way down, getting into the corner.
I mean, you see, he tries to slow it down, but just doesn't slow it down.
Now
enough.
it's on a splitter and takes off.
Yeah, I think you're right. Oh, man.
It's just like a ski. There's no chance. Once it gets on the splitter, you're along for the ride.
Almirola has made it around to pit road. They'll put tires on it. Cole Custer gets the free pass.
Yeah, it's so hard, Clint, when you're traveling 180, 90 miles per hour. You think, man, I've slowed down a ton here. I should be okay, but clearly just didn't get slowed down enough because of what you said. You're just going to get on that splitter, and that thing's like a skid plate at that point.
Well, you could tell he definitely knew he had a problem. You could tell that by the throttle.
I'm just a little surprised he didn't slow down more than that. Yeah.
On the prior caution, Chase Briscoe was the free pass car. I don't believe we mentioned that. There's the Columbia Cam on board Bubba Wallace, and there's Chase Briscoe carrying our Ford Camry today.
Save a little fuel, cool down that engine.
He's back on the lead lap.
Pretty much just protocol these days. Once that caution comes out,
immediately, and it's exactly what you said. Actually, the second part of what you said, cooling the engine down. The other thing you do now is, as soon as you get it killed and the ignition's off, full throttle. Keep that intake and everything cooled off. All helps.
Oh, look at this. All these guys come to pit road. Hey, you knew Larson was coming because he didn't come one other time and it hurt him.
I'm going to make that mistake again.
Jamie?
Well, they left it to Brad Keselowski. Brad said, I'll watch my near and see how many are coming. He could tell now was the time to pit for 4 tires. Said the car was pretty good there. Just needed to sort it out. They didn't have long enough on that short run, Regan.
Well, Kyle Larson, they decided to pit this time. As you guys mentioned before, they didn't do that earlier in the race. His balance has been really good. He's wide open all the way around the racetrack. They are just outside of their fuel window, though, a ways, so they're not going to be good to the end after this stop.
They might be good to the end, but boy, a lot of cars stayed out, and they have some work to do to get that track position back.
And cars with fresh tires have been faster than cars with worn tires. You think it's been interesting to this point? Ha ha! Buckle up, Buttercup. $85 laps to go. Time for our Credit One Bank ones to watch.
Well, Mike, I'm watching the 19 of Mark Truex Jr. That last caution, that pit sequence when cars came down pit road changed the complexity of this race. This 19 team stayed out there. 2-time winner Mark Truex Jr. might make it 3 today.
Yeah, Jeff, I keep watching Denny Hamlin. 11 wins at mile-and-a-half tracks, but he's never won at Las Vegas Motor Speedway. They just keep making that car better and better.
Man, I'm going to ride with the 5 ball. Kyle Larson, he's been in class of the field today. I think he can keep it up. Never won on a mile-and-a-half. I think that changes today.
Well, Christopher Bell is top 5, done a fantastic job today. With the win in the bank, they can push their luck here toward the end of the race. Neither Adam Stevens or Christopher Bell have ever won at Vegas in any series. That changes today.
For 3 races, a lot of people have been saying, where's Ryan Blaney? Where's Ryan Blaney? Well, today, he's up front. And that car seems to have really good short-run speed. Maybe one more unexpected caution. He could be right there. And those are your Credit One Bank ones to watch.
Hey, Clint, what happened to your mugshot?
Man, I don't know. I guess Artie just left me out of the deal, man. I even made Brad bring my suit. Where is it? Where are you? Right here. Look, I made Brad bring the suit. You won't even show it, Artie. Come on.
That's okay, Clint. I kept smiling for you, buddy.
Here we go.
Practice, practice, practice. All right, 83 to go when they come to the line through the Geico restart zone, and green flag waves again. Blaney pushing the 11 of Hamlin to the lead.
See that 19 move up for the block. I mean, this is literally like watching Daytona all over again as they were plate racing, listening to those spotters and things like that, where these runs are coming. Very important.
You're right. He moved up for the block as they're 4-5 wide, but it didn't work. I mean, could not keep that car from behind you. Man, these restarts are wild.
Woohoo, that 9 car back there is loose, getting in the corner off the bumper of the 18.
I was pretty surprised. Were you, Clint, that they decided that Chase Elliott didn't want any adjustments to try to tighten that race car up?
Loose is fast and on the edge and out of control. It's still wiggling, man. I'm telling you, that car is loose.
Now, the first car with 4 tires is Kyle Larson, back at 16th place.
And we talked about loose race cars. It's hard to navigate through traffic when you got a loose race car. Again, Kyle Larson in that 5, I think, is loose as well, just like the 9.
Well, he was 16th when Jimmy Hicks wrote that down, our statistician. Now he's in the top 10.
Yeah, I was going to say.
Things happen that fast.
I just saw him go by 3 cars at one corner, so he's making up some ground. He knows that he's got to be aggressive here. There's just no way that you can't take a lot of risk if you're going to close that gap to these guys. I really did not think they could come through the field this quick.
See Ricky Stenhouse back there in the picture. So cool to see cars like this. I've been watching him. Last 2 weeks, he was fast. Brian Patty's got that hot rod dialed in.
Yeah, he and Ryan Preece, both just a position apart here. Second place, side by side. Blaney and Hamlin. Blaney going to the basement to try to make the pass.
Don't count that cat out.
They better watch out. The guys coming on those fresh tires. The guys come through there the fastest. Brad Keselowski in that 2 car.
Look at the black marks off the corner. Did you see that?
Yeah. Brad Keselowski is our USAA biggest mover since the restart, plus 14. Kyle Larson up 10.
My very close off of turn 4 right there.
Because Larson all the way to the wall. Not quite going to get there on William Byron, though. Now, I just did think with these cars being able to run wide open so long into a run, I didn't think new tires would make this big of a difference, but it really does.
But I also think that it equals out. We saw that last time. Seems like it does up front, and then it'll kind of equal out, and then it really prevails at the end. That's what I'm looking for.
Martin Truex Jr. is hoping these guys want to race side by side back here. He can break that draft because that 2 car is coming fast.
But it sure creates an urgency on the restart when you have those new tires and have to take advantage of what they'll give you right away.
If they had 6 or 8 cars, I mean, everybody's that would be pretty wild on the restarts no matter what. But if they had 6 or 8 cars ahead of them, maybe not so much urgency. But when they are that deep into the field, oh, man.
But it's also on the other side of that. Urgency to get to that lead. You want to be Martin Truex right now. Old tires, you've got to make sure that you're out front. That's why they were racing so hard for that position.
Denny Hamlin trying to spoil Truex's party.
Man, look at him trying to crowd Martin Truex Jr.
What happened? Remember last week?
I was going to say,
vice versa. That looked just like last week, and we know how that made Martin Truex Jr. feel. He was not happy with Denny Hamlin.
Nope.
He isn't right now.
Well, that really opened up the door for Larson rolling around the bottom here. He's going to get side by side with second place Martin Truex Jr.
Strike 2. That's what that is.
Yeah. I think the definition of teammate in NASCAR is just got to be really different than it is in other sports.
Yeah, it's starting to become ish.
Yes.
Teammate-ish.
Right. Truex comes right back at his teammate-ish. That doesn't sound right, does it?
Is he going to crowd him up? Yes, he does.
Yes, he does.
Great run. Coming right back at him. Going to drive it off in there really hard. Oh! You cannot let him. Oh, he got clear there. That's Truex is trying to stay on his quarter panel.
Here comes Larson. He's going to get there to the quarter panel of the 19 now.
And that's going to bring Keselowski right to them with a run. Here comes the deuce. Where's he going to go? Whoa!
I was going to say, who does he go with?
Got to be careful doing that. No, now he drove it off in there too hard. Got loose.
Yeah, 5 car got loose down at 3 wide.
That's a pretty risky play right there. Pretty early in the race with 73 to go to be pulling that block like that.
I understand where's he going to go, but I don't think Brad understands with. Not in that case.
Well,
not on that lap.
I know what Brad really wanted to do. He wanted to go to the inside, go 3 wide.
Right.
But the 5 put this block on. There it is. You can see he had the wheel turned. He was going there. Yep. Brad was committed to go to the inside.
Great racing here in Las Vegas. There's still 72 laps to go.
And great run by Kyle Larson to get to the outside of the 19. Go to second. Now here comes the 2-car Keselowski.
All right, as they jostle and jockey for position, let's check with Larry Mack and his Ford Performance cutaway car.
Yeah, Mike, earlier Jeff and Clint was talking about this package here. And yeah, it has to do with aero, but it also has to do with a tapered spacer underneath the throttle body. These engines without that tapered spacer makes almost 900 horsepower. The tapered spacer we run here reduces that horsepower to about 550. Now, next week at Phoenix, being a 1-mile track, it'll be a little bigger, 750 horsepower on our Ford Performance cutaway car.
Thanks, Larry. Well, it's settled out just a little bit, single file here. One fella I was really hoping could have a good day here, Josh Bilicki, who drives for Rick Ware Racing. His sponsor, Chuck Brennan, laid $10,000 down on the nose on that car in a Las Vegas casino. If Bilicki had won today, $10 million would have been the payoff from the Circa. And his sponsor said that would have paid off the loans of every one of his customers in the whole state of Nevada.
Wow.
And bought the Brooklyn Bridge. But, you know, great promotion. We're sorry Josh is 9 laps down in the 52.
There he is.
But what a great promotion.
Great marketing right there.
Speaking of great, used him as a great pick right there is what they did.
Yep. William Byron back at it.
Took advantage of those two, Brad Keselowski and Martin Truex racing hard right there as they used the pick going around Bilicki. Really capitalized on that.
Yeah, but look at that big run by the 2. Brad Keselowski goes right to the outside of William Byron. Didn't get that spot back. Clint, want to go back to what Larry McReynolds was talking about with that tapered spacer, 550 horsepower. I know as a driver, you want all the horsepower you can get, but man, you can't deny this putting on one heck of a show.
Oh, absolutely. And that's why you see talking about wide open all the way around this racetrack. That's what separates a good run from the back. But the drag and the downforce aspect of that is such a fitting thing into that equation. It's kind of like you know, when you took me to that club.
Oh, God, here we go.
Kind of like a tapered plate, right? I didn't know what I was doing. I was in over my head, dragging you down.
Thank God you talked tapered spacer. I was afraid you were going to drag. You weren't going there with you.
I was dragging him down in that club. I didn't know what I was doing. He was up there with a DJ.
Oh, good. You weren't in drag.
I had the plate ripped off.
Denny Hamlin leads by a thin margin as DJ Jazzy Jeff and the Prince of Emporia.
Oh, yeah, the Prince.
Oh, my God. Oh, man. They got it going on.
Did he?
Welcome back to Las Vegas. 61 laps to go in the Pennzoil 400 presented by Jiffy Lube. Leaders right here.
Well, those lap cars been making a big difference on the leader. Looked to me like Hamlin wanted to go to the bottom. He had to check up a little bit, lost the momentum, allowed Kyle Larson to just roll from that outside lane and roll right on by to take the lead.
And you look for those opportunities. Don't think Kyle Larson wasn't anticipating that, ready for him to catch that guy, hoping that he catches him at the right place. He did, and he capitalized.
Wednesday, the Big East tournament tips off at Madison Square Garden. Who will take the conference crown? Catch all the action March 10th through 13th. It'll be on Fox, FS1, and the Fox Sports app.
Saw Denny Hamlin get really tight off of 4 right there. It's definitely losing the handling on that thing. Looks tight.
Yeah, those older tires start to show up.
Whoa! Kyle Larson made a big move down around that lap track.
You got to keep the momentum. You cannot check up for anything or anybody.
It's been an eventful day as we have a look at the Progressive Race summary. After 208 laps, Kyle Larson, one of 11 leaders, 25 lead changes, still 26 lead lap cars. 6 caution flags so far. Brad Keselowski and Larson were the 2 stage winners today. And of 26 cars, there's probably 15 of them that have a serious chance of winning this race, depending how cautions and pit stops play out. Had a lot of side-by-side, 3 wide, even 4 wide racing today.
Let's stay on him here. I want to hear his throttle as he goes through 1 and 2, maybe for a lap.
Yeah, I want to know what the difference is between Joey Logano and his teammates that are really strong right now.
He just barely burnt it right there. As soon as he felt that thing take off, you could hear it. Started heading up the track. He had to burp that out of the throttle just a little bit.
Well, he's out of gas a lot right there.
I don't know that that was a lot.
25%.
Well, he
all the
was
way down there.
also 25 whatever from the wall. Very close.
All right, so here's Alex Bowman in 13th, 14th place.
A little bit different line here on the bottom. Of course, he was passing right there, Ryan Preece. Yeah, he's even out of it more than Logano was. Maybe back to it a little sooner. Oh, yeah, somebody just inside. I think Preece was to the inside of Bowman right there.
Good battle for 6th place. Kyle Busch, William Byron. Well, it was a battle. It's not now. Byron went to the top and gave Kyle the lane. Christopher Bell coming. Neat story on Kyle this week. He's carrying the colors of M&M Mars Premier Candies, and they're made right here in Vegas at a place that Kyle's grandmother used to take him as a child.
No way.
And it just all came back to him. It's a pretty cool deal.
That's a cool story.
Yep, and here it is on his race car.
I thought M&M's were pretty premier around in Kansas, where I'm from. I need to look into this deal.
Blaney and Truex, 4th and 5th. How about Eric Jones in 10th place?
Yeah, and he stayed out. He's on those older tires that some of these other guys up front are. So nice job, nice run here in the top 10 by Eric Jones.
Yeah, we talked about it, you know, the first of the season, Jeff, about new faces and new places, and he was one that I didn't want to overlook. I think he brings a lot to the 43 stable, and I think he's a heck of a race car driver. Is going to do good in that thing.
Yeah, I don't understand why it didn't click for him over Joe Gibbs Racing. I expected more, but we know he's a great race car driver.
2nd place here, Ford versus Toyota.
Of anybody out there that I think has something for Kyle Larson, it's that 2-car Brad Keselowski.
Yeah, or Blaney, his teammate. He's going to have to do some catching up, but I agree. I think those Penske cars, if anybody has anything for him, it'd be them.
Pit stops coming here in the final stages at Las Vegas. We'll take you side by side.
This next step for me is for every kid out there with a dream. You will face challenges, but trust me, no matter what, keep pushing.
I'll be observing your safe driving abilities, play your cards right, and you could be in for a tasty discount. Let's roll. Hey, check it out. One time I tripped on a sidewalk over here.
And a high of 89 degrees.
Oh, who just gives away wood?
A Snapshot app from Progressive rewards you for driving safe and driving less.
There's an app.
Save money.
Beth. Well, that came out of nowhere.
4. And then 5, turn,
5.
kick.
We got chased by these wild coyotes.
We were following her because she had beef jerky in her pocket.
Don't behind me, come on. Pick that up, right there.
As long as you keep making the internet an amazing place to be, we'll keep bringing you a faster, more secure, and more amazing internet. Xfinity, proud premier partner of NASCAR.
I'm Tucker Carlson. I'm coming to Fox Nation very soon.
They're stealing what we have here in Maine.
We will pass that. They know that.
This corridor is more than an energy project. It's an attack the weak against the strong.
We're just so delighted you're a gun guy.
Original documentaries that get deeper into the issues that actually matter. Coming soon, and it's only on Fox Nation.
I am a driver with a dream. I am the NASCAR Xfinity Series. I am NASCAR.
47 laps to go. Kyle Larson leading. As you watch from our aerial coverage provided by Goodyear. Drive always discovers possibility. Goodyear, more driven. Green flag pit stops have begun. Ricky Stenhouse has completed his, and now so has Ryan Newman. As Kyle Larson has now been out in front for 68 laps. He's led 5 times and led the most laps of any driver in today's race. Larson was the leader at the start of the last green flag cycle by 0.6 of a second, and by the time that cycle was over, he had opened it up to 6 seconds as William Byron and Christopher Bell come to pit road. Jamie?
Christopher Bell doing a really nice job today. He looked forward to this race. They made minor adjustments on that 20 car, just a 4-tire stop here, Regan.
Well, William Byron just got within their window a few laps ago, said let's go ahead and pit right now. He has been quiet on the radio, happy with that race car.
Martin Truex comes to pit lane along with his teammate Kyle Busch. Matt DiBenedetto's in. Jamie.
Kyle Busch's main problem has just been building tight, so the longer the run goes, it just gets harder to turn that wheel. They've been adjusting it with air pressure and 4 tires for him here. Back to you, Regan.
Well, great performance today by Martin Truex team and his crew chief James Small. That car was not very good early. It's been tight all day long. They finally got it where he wants it, and it's got great speed right now.
Eric Jones and Austin Dillon have stopped. Here comes Denny Hamlin to the pit lane. And Michael McDowell, along with Alex Bowman and Chase Elliott. Jamie.
48 hasn't been exactly what they hoped it would be today, and that's because we haven't had direct, bright sunshine. They wanted a hot and slick track for this setup, so they've been adjusting. He feels like he's competitive, but he was outside the top 10 coming in here, Regan.
Denny Hamlin came on the radio about 5 laps ago, said really tight right now. They said pit shortly thereafter.
Joey Logano, Kurt Busch in, and here's Ryan Blaney coming in. Timmy Hill in the low lane. Not sure if Larson wanted to pit that time or not.
I think he did. He's on pit road.
Yep.
Gave Brad Keselowski a huge opportunity to catch him.
Regan?
Well, you see Ryan Blaney on the left side of your screen there. That race car lacks grip as the run goes. Overall, he just doesn't have enough raw speed in that race car. And Jamie.
Brad Keselowski, and he has been so fast today. Been happy with the car, building tight on that longer run, like Kyle Busch was saying. But other than that, they are stellar, Regan.
Kyle Larson, a very fast car, as you've seen all day long. But it is a little bit tighter on this run, so he wants a small change for that. Possibly a little shorter stop here. They don't need as much fuel.
Kevin Harvick pits from 3rd. Daniel Suarez, the new leader, from Cole Custer.
Yeah, I want to know from our crew chief, Larry McReynolds. Larry, are you a little surprised that these guys came in that had already pitted, and had a lot more fuel on board than, say, the guys that pitted at 163?
I'm not, Jeff, because they were going to give up too much time to those fresh tires. Even though they had fresher tires, they were going to give up way too much time. They basically had to come shortly after.
Ross Chastain completes his stop. And that leaves us just Suarez and Custer of the lead lap cars, running 1-2. Then we'll cycle back around to Kyle Larson. But Larson's not going to have the lead that he did after the last green flag cycle was completed, because Keselowski's right with him.
Yeah, good sequence there for Brad Keselowski, but those guys did stretch it out a little bit on those behind them. They didn't have to take on as much fuel, even though they had fresher tires. They also didn't have to take on a full load of fuel, or as much fuel as some of these other guys behind them.
You know, when you talk about practice and things like that, you're looking at the 5-car, Kyle Larson, and thinking about what he had to do, what he had to accomplish on that last green flag pit stop. That's where I feel like lack of practice and seat time would hurt you. And I saw he got beat pretty bad by Brad Keselowski getting on a pit road.
I wonder how much that hurt him also. You know, he was wanting to come in the lap before that, and that slower car, I think he lost a little bit of time under that sequence.
I always try to get my crew chief to, hey, if there's possible and it's not going to hurt us once we get on pit road, pit me with somebody in front of me, because I can always gain position, because you can gauge your speed off of him way easier. Always helps you to follow somebody on pit road.
Well, let's take a look at today's pit performance, sponsored by Jiffy Lube. Fastest stops on the last stop, including lead lap cars that took 4 tires, Alex Bowman and Martin Truex, head of the class. So Suarez, the leader, he's now the only car that has not pitted in this sequence.
Well, they gambled that last time under green, right, to try to hope that they'd catch a caution. Now they're going to try it again.
Cole Custer was the other one. Suarez team, this Team Trackhouse, brand new team for 2021, and they just put together an hour-long documentary film that's available on YouTube about how they got the team started and the challenges they faced over the first 3 races of the season. Very, very well produced. Worth a look.
A pretty cool story of this new ownership group.
Well, guys, he can go about another 15 laps, because he pitted at lap 181. In my book, Travis Mack, he's made his bed. You might as well keep going, see if you can catch a caution.
And next Saturday, Daniel Suarez will be in the booth to help call the Xfinity Series race on Saturday.
It'll be a lot of fun.
Sure.
He was always fun to have in a competition meeting, because neither one of us spoke very good English. He was trying to understand what I was saying about my car, and I could never understand him.
Well, he has a lead of 9.5 seconds that Larson is eating away at by about 7 or 8 tenths of a second per lap.
Well, it goes back to what Larry McReynolds was talking about. You know, you just can't stay out there too long. Even though these guys are running pretty close to wide open, those older tires, as we're seeing here, you know, what's that? Over 1.5 seconds about, you know, difference for our leader right now on those old tires.
So Brad Keselowski picked up quite a bit during that pit cycle. Larson had a full second lead over Brad when he pitted. So let's kind of compare those two here getting onto pit road.
They're both pretty aggressive getting to the line. I really think that the difference might be on the pit stop, but also that little bit of time lost on the racetrack the time before that, when Larson was wanting to come to pit road.
So using our ghost car.
How cool is this technology?
Yeah, I was going to say, I like it.
It's awesome.
But Jeff and Clint, we did see where Larson was on the brakes quite a bit earlier than Brad Keselowski.
But he also had more to lose, Larry. And that's the point that I want to say. As a leader, the only thing you don't want to do is beat yourself in this scenario. And he spun the tires really bad out of that box, too. I actually thought he was going to get beat out. And then right at the end, got the grip and took off. The 2-car didn't win. I don't... all right. That's not right.
No, that was the last... Oh, man, come on. Come on, man. Put it out.
Had they pitted on the same lap, that would have been the result.
I was trying to mess with Jeff a little bit, and it worked.
Not hard to do.
So there goes your leader, Suarez. And there's Kyle Larson now just 2.6 seconds back.
He's getting bigger quick.
Suarez running out this tank of fuel, and his tires have 44 more laps on them than Larson's. Now it's 1.2 seconds. And soon it's going to be
no
new leader. Yeah, new leader, number 5.
Mike, you talked about that documentary on Trackhouse Racing. I love what Justin Marks said. Right now, with our brand new team, it's not about the finishes, it's about the process.
Yes.
That's called building for the future. They plan to be around for a while. That's great news for a new team like that.
So Kyle Larson retakes command now with Brad Keselowski 1.6 seconds back. 29 laps to go as we take you side by side.
An F-150 isn't an F-150 because of the name on the tailgate. It's an F-150 because it's built for tough, built to haul more, built to tow more, for the people who count on it. Because they know that brawn can get the job done, but it takes brains and brawn to get it done right. Tough this smart can only be called F-150.
You're right. That's a fifth floor problem.
Okay. Not in my house. No. Not today.
Jimmy, how happy are folks who save hundreds of dollars switching to Geico?
Happier than Dikembe Mutombo blocking a shot.
Nice.
Get happy. Get Geico. 15 minutes could save you 15% or more.
How do you make the best season ever even better? Grab the Fox Sports app. It may be the greatest app ever. Because you can watch the action from the best seat in the house. We've got the latest and greatest from the best insiders in the business. And keep up with your favorite drivers without needing a helmet. I see you, Chase. NASCAR on the Fox Sports app. Best app ever.
Explore from anywhere. Work from anywhere. Recharge from anywhere. Anywhere's possible when your vehicle is serviced with Jiffy Lube. Your skilled technicians are here to help keep you and your vehicle moving forward. Anywhere's possible with Jiffy Lube.
I'm Jason Tatum. Check out my Subway sub with delicious turkey and crispy bacon.
I'm Draymond Green with my Subway sub with tender steak and melty cheese.
My sub will help you put points on the board, unlike some other subs.
Why would you say that, Jason?
Hey, man, I'm just talking about subs here.
Oh, come on.
My sub is going to throw down.
My sub has more rings than your sub.
My sub has bacon.
Choose better, be better. And now buy one sub, get 150% off in the app. Subway, eat fresh.
But not Jason's sub.
I am bumping, banging, and battling to the finish. I am the NASCAR Camping World Truck Series. I am NASCAR.
24 laps to go in Las Vegas. Now tonight, an all-new Cherries Wild Know Your Pop Trivia, earn a spin on TV's biggest slot machines. Now Jason Biggs, big race fan, and we're excited to announce that he'll be the Grand Marshal for next week's Instacart 500 from Phoenix.
Oh, wow, cool.
Cherries Wild tonight on Fox.
Hey, boys, who's coming to the front? Las Vegas' own Kyle Busch. Of course you can't keep this guy out.
Get some of those chocolate-covered cherries right there. Look pretty good.
Needs a strong run right here. That's going to help him get established for next weekend. You know, you get behind in this thing, and it's really hard to catch up because of your pit stall, because of your starting position. You're always playing catch-up.
Hey, caution comes out. He might be a factor. We know how good he is on those restarts, talking about Kyle Busch.
Phoenix next week, as we've mentioned, in Atlanta. And in 21 days, bring your work clothes, boys.
Oh, baby.
Gonna get dirty at Bristol.
Bring your goggles.
Goggles. And not your new shoes.
And your tear-offs. Christopher Bell, one of those who's really looking forward to the first time the Cup Series has been on dirt since 1970. Kyle Larson leading in a Chevy, Brad Keselowski in a Ford, and look at the Gibbs running order, 3, 4, 5, and 7.
Now, the only thing disappointed about that stat is it's not a first right now. They're not leading, but curious to see what happens here as this race unfolds to the end. But that's a strong showing for those Gibbs guys, and they needed that today.
Solid all the way through. A lot of depth.
So Kyle Larson leading this race by 2.5 seconds. Is he, Clint, in one of your surprises to lead this race and have a chance to win,
Mike,
or in one of Jeff's usual suspects? Where does he fall?
He's no surprise. I mean, we've seen how Hendrick cars have been strong. We saw Larson was strong last week. He certainly wouldn't be my surprise, but he also hasn't won on a 1.5 miles, so he might be on somebody's list of surprises.
I think you can say anticipating, right? I was anticipating seeing him in this opportunity, see if he could make the most of it. We all know his capabilities, and we all thought, man, he would be lights out here, he'd be lights out there. He's shown the speed, but he can't seal the deal. You get him in this opportunity that we were all ready for. Maybe today's the day.
Well, I would not have picked him as a favorite. 9 runner-up finishes on a 1.5 mile track, but not a victory. Yeah. And yet here he is leading this race, which is 19 to go.
I'd say Rick Hendrick has a way of making you a winner, right, Jeff?
Yes.
Good point.
There's Cliff Daniels, crew chief for Kyle Larson. So, you know, you think about it. We've got the 48, the number and the sponsor moved over to Alex Bowman, Greg Gives. But this team was the Jimmy Johnson team of last year with Cliff Daniels leading that. Here we go on board with that Ally Chevrolet.
Putting your polecat a lap down right here.
Man, this is the last thing I thought we'd be talking about or seeing today. And not just because he started up front. We've seen him run so well and dominate here.
Yeah.
So Kevin Harvick goes a lap down. Our point leader. Michael McDowell, long odds to win the Daytona 500, but he did, scoring his first Cup Series win. Week 2, Christopher Bell. Was never a question of if Bell would win, a question of when. But nobody thought it'd be that soon, and nobody guessed it'd be on the road course at Daytona. And last week, the only winner of the season thus far that had a win previous to 2021, and William Byron had 1. Now he's got 2.
But even that one, Mike, was still a surprise because it was Homestead. That track. Oh! I'm sorry, off of turn 4. Alex Bowman trying to get to pit road.
And he almost collected Anthony Alfredo.
But that'd be a penalty right there. He did get to pit road, but he was split the box. He didn't have all 4 underneath the box.
He was in 9th place. Here's the Ally cam to show us what happened.
He's got a tire down.
Yikes!
Whoa,
right there.
Mike, that's what I saw. That's
I know.
My eye.
Morning, guys. I got a flat. 3.
What a heads-up job. Did a good job of getting that thing to pit road, but
so
about got wiped out.
He stops for a change of tires, and Anthony Alfredo will stop for a change.
Yes.
Maybe. Left rear tire was down on Bowman's car.
Now the question is going to be whether he has a penalty coming to pit road that late. Was he speeding coming in?
That'd be a yes. Black flag is out. Too fast entering.
That's too bad.
Bummer.
Saved their day, though. I mean, we just saw that with the 10 car. Did the same exact thing, got into turn 1 too fast, in their day on the wall. That could have just as easily happened with that 48 car. Here he comes again.
So officially, it's a commitment line violation for the 48, and that'll take us down to 19 cars on the lead lap. The last of whom is last fall's winner here, Kurt Busch. Let's have a look at his younger brother, Kyle, who's climbed to 4th place with 13 to go. Jamie?
What a turnaround for the Gibbs cars. Last year in this race, it was a struggle. I talked to Kyle about that this morning. He said they went back to the drawing board for this race, and they didn't just look at what they could do better. They dissected what was wrong. Now, today hasn't been a walk in the park for the 18, but they haven't given up. They've been adjusting on it, and guys, this is the best run he has had this year. His best finish was 10th last week.
That's right. That was his first top 10 of the year. And as he chases teammate Denny Hamlin.
Not just chases. I think he's going to get by his teammate Denny Hamlin here.
Yep.
Kyle Busch really strong right now.
6 seconds off the lead, racing for third.
Here comes that change of position. Denny Hamlin not going to fight Kyle Busch as he just came off that top lane, carried that momentum, went right on by.
And laying some really fast lap times down.
Yeah. Fellas, this is where I see the Gibbs team drivers as being more disciplined as a group than some other organizations. They don't often fight each other for a position. And now I'm thinking back to Hamlin and Truex earlier.
Yeah, what are you talking
earlier in the race? And I'll just
an hour ago. Maybe these
I'll
two.
be back.
Maybe these two and Joe Gibbs.
Yeah, okay.
But it's also later in the run, Mike. At this point in the run, the tires are old. You kind of know what you got. You see what's happening around you, and you know, guys run you down, and you're like, you know what? That's the right thing to do. And I think even if that was Truex, these guys would do that, but not early in that run when they're 2 and 3 wide.
Let's compare the standings coming into the 4th race of the season, last year to this year. And you see the names in red on the left that are not in the top 10 now, the names in green on the right that have replaced those drivers. Quite a shakeup 3 races in.
And with, you know, Chase Elliott having some struggles here today. It's going to shake things up a little bit more.
Michael McDowell, first car 1 lap down on the lucky dog position there in 17th. And Chase Elliott up to 13th. He's gained 4 since the last restart, but had a spin of his own early in the day, which pretty much took him out of contention.
I will say, yeah, and he was strong earlier. If you're going to have a bad day, you hope it's a 12th or 13th place finish. A lot of traffic here for our leader. You know, this is that moment. You're coming 7 to go, and you're just watching every car in front of you, trying to pick and choose your line, trying to make sure there's no vibrations, no cautions. You just don't want cautions. And then behind you, those guys are praying for a caution because they know that would completely change how this race could end.
Well, the best thing that Kyle Larson has is that 3.3 seconds in the bank on the second place car of Brad Keselowski. He can take a little more time working his way through these lap cars.
The other thing I see, though, and it always lends itself to cautions, this sun's back out. The track's going to be slicker. They're going to be slipping, sliding around in this traffic, heavy traffic like you're talking about. This is that opportunity for that caution that we're talking about.
Yeah,
6 to go.
And then I'd say, what caused that left rear tire to go flat, go down for Alex Bowman? Is there a piece of debris out there?
Guys, the trend ship has sailed. I gave up on trends this week, but I will say both Las Vegas races last year, we had a caution in the last 10 laps.
Ooh, good boy.
So I'm saying there's a chance.
This graphics, we talked about this in the Daytona 500. The colors were different, but the graphic scheme that's been chosen for Kyle Larson's car, very reminiscent of what adorned the truck and the Busch Series car of Ricky Hendrick. Looks, in these colors, looks just like it.
Identical.
Yeah. What a wonderful tribute.
Not only that, I mean, the history of this 5 car going back to the beginning of Hendrick Motorsports. First car number was the number 5. So you take those 2 combinations, and I can tell you the paint scheme on this car, the sponsor on this car, and the number on the side, and then adding Kyle Larson to the driver's seat. A lot of emotion in this race car for Rick Hendrick.
It's an oft-told story. Car dealer Rick Hendrick came in NASCAR, asked so many questions that NASCAR wondered, what was he trying to start a rival race series? Was he trying to take over? What? Asked so many questions and formed his own race team with Harry Hyde. They ran some races, and they were 1 race away from shutting down for lack of funds, and Jeff Bodine won that race at Martinsville, and Hendrick Motorsports was off and running. And the rest, as they say, is history still in the making.
Man, these guys are right on the fence in 3 and 4. 1 and 2, not so much, but I mean on the fence in 3 and 4.
Larson sliced his way through that lap traffic without even losing a tenth to Keselowski, who has 3 seconds on Kyle Busch in third. Starter has the white flag in hand.
And if you're that leader, just get around there. Hurry. That's all you can think about is getting over there to that line.
And here it comes. White flag, 1 lap to go. Sponsored by Credit One Bank. Brad 3.2 back, and Kyle Busch, that is, 6.2 back. Hamlin and Blaney, the top 5. Going to shake up the points. Going to put Hamlin to the top, Keselowski, and then Larson, as Kyle Larson wins Las Vegas.
Hell yeah, guys! Great job!
7th career win for the 28-year-old from Elk Grove, California. Last one in October 2019 at Dover.
Certainly not the track that I thought he was going to punch his first ticket in victory lane with. I thought it was going to be his best opportunity was going to be a Homestead or an Atlanta or something like that. Whooped him here today.
Well, and I just think of Cliff Daniels, the crew chief here. You know, had Jimmy Johnson, 7-time champion, and that last season for Jimmy Johnson, he wanted to go so well, and it just didn't come together. Now he gets teamed up with this young driver and Kyle Larson, and they go to victory lane their 4th time together.
2nd week in a row, Hendrick Motorsports definitely putting the stake in the ground.
And it brings their win total to 265 since that Jeff Bodine win in 85. And that puts them 3 away from tying Petty Enterprises for the most all-time in the NASCAR Cup Series.
That deal might be under protest, though. I don't know.
Petty Enterprises, not Richard Petty.
There's a question about that. Can you clarify?
Could be a topic on Race Hub. But the team started by Lee Petty, continued by Richard, and run as Petty Enterprises. Now has 3 more.
It's been so long
Rick
since he's done it. He did his burnout, Jeff, there's nobody back there.
I think he's going to do another one up front.
You know what?
He's showing off for them.
There are motorhomes on the backstretch, and there's a good chance that Kyle Larson has some family and friends back there.
I think you're right, Mike. I think you nailed it.
So now he comes to center stage. After a big win over Brad Keselowski by 3.1 seconds.
I think you're going to see some emotion here.
Yeah, I agree. One thing you didn't see Kyle Larson doing is winning all those sprint cars.
Yeah, burnout's not an option on dirt.
Kyle Larson's return to the NASCAR Cup Series takes a big step forward today. Well, you heard that appreciative West Coast crowd, sellout crowd. And here's Regan Smith.
Kyle Larson climbs down from the top of the race car. Kyle, we knew you were going to be quick when you came to Hendrick Motorsports, but today you were dominant in this race.
Yeah, thanks. It was such an awesome race car. Cliff and everybody did a great job preparing this piece. It was so much fun to drive. I could go wherever I wanted to. So I knew I had a really good car once we kind of get single filed out, but just drafting early in the run was tough. But thank you so much, Mr. H, Jeff Gordon, everybody at Hendrick Motorsports for the amazing opportunity I've been gifted. So HendrickCars.com, Chevrolet, everybody at the engine shop, thank you so much for the hard work. This is definitely definitely special.
You mentioned Mr. Hendrick and everything that he's done for you in your career. You're running the number 5 that Ricky Hendrick made so famous when he was driving. What does that mean to you?
It means a lot. I know that this is Rick's, most special paint scheme for obvious reasons, and it's just an honor for me to be able to drive it. Our first time out with this color scheme, and just like I said, it's blessed. And thanks to all the fans for coming out. Everybody at home watching on TV. That was some fun racing on the restart, so I hope everybody enjoyed it. I know I did, and had fun racing Brad and Denny and everybody, and tried giving it away there coming to the green flag stop. But thankfully, we were able to have a good enough car to hold them all off. Thanks.
20 drivers have won for Rick Hendrick in the Cup Series, but nobody has won as quickly as Kyle Larson, who wins today in his 4th start for Mr. H. As we went to break, a driver ran across the ball field to give a big handshake to our winner. That driver finished 2nd and is with Jamie Little.
And Brad Keselowski led 27 laps today. Best finish of the year, but Brad, we just saw it there. What did you say to Kyle when he went out there?
Just really happy for him. I know he's been through a lot over the last year, Jamie, and he's a good kid. I've known him for a little while, and he's got a good family, and just happy to see him bounce back.
How was it racing with him? You guys seem to be the class of the field most of this race.
Yeah, he was really fast. He was smart. He had a lot of speed in all the lanes, which was really impressive. So, usually you got to make a compromise, Jamie, but they were really good. Our car was really, if Carl Larson wasn't here, it would have been a dominant day. But they were really strong, and he's got some really good equipment now, and he's going to keep showing it, I'm sure.
Thanks, Brad.
Thanks.
Brad Keselowski now 2nd in the NASCAR Cup standings. As far as points are concerned, to Denny Hamlin, the 4 winners there at the top. Hamlin and Keselowski have the most points. Larson now 3rd, Chase Elliott 4th, Joey Logano 5th, 6th Christopher Bell. Let's join Regan with the 4th place finisher.
Well, a strong 4th place run for Denny Hamlin today. Denny, at one point, I heard on your radio, you guys are going to put this thing on jack stands to fix it, and the next thing I know, you're leading the race.
Yeah, we got it better in the short run. We just didn't quite have enough long run speed. But certainly, I thought it was a good start for our FedEx Ground Camry team. Just, we're gathering data, trying to figure out what we can do to be better when we come back here when it really counts. So overall, good start. We'll just see, gather all the data, and I'll figure it out this week what we got to do.
Thanks, Danny.
Thanks.
Well, Kyle Busch brings it home 3rd today. And Kyle, your best run of the year so far. What does this do for you and your team moving forward?
I mean, anytime you can have a good run and improve all day long and get better, it's certainly going to be a building block and something to build off of. So, just good fight by Ben and the guys. Everybody did a good job, and me giving feedback and them being able to comprehend the feedback and continue to work on the car to make it better. And I just want to say thanks to Ethel M. Chocolates, the first time ever being on a race car. And as a 5-year-old, I don't remember being there, but my grandmother told me stories about being there with her and us getting chocolates and stuff like that. So it was really special to have them on board today. I know Grandma was smiling from above. So proud to come home with the podium. Just wish we had a little bit more speed. We just lack a little bit of overall lap time to be able to contend with the guys that are up front winning and have the pace.
Thanks, Kyle.
And so ends one of the most exciting races we've ever seen at Vegas. We're going to pack up club confetti and drag it to Phoenix for the Duel in the Desert next weekend. And you'll hear from the Charlotte studio when we return with NASCAR on Fox.
This might just be the greatest season of all time. We got Denny, Joey, Kevin, and the people's champ that everyone is chasing. See what I did there? But it ain't all left turns. Austin's a weird place, man. We're taking this tour on the road. There's a throwback race on Mother's Day. A new team from North Carolina. And we can't forget about the all-time fan favorite.
I'm just here so I don't get fined.
This might be the best season ever.
In just his 4th race at Hendrick Motorsports, Kyle Larson taking the checkers today out at Las Vegas, led 103 laps on his way to victory lane with fans in the stands back. They said it was a sold-out crowd, sold to capacity, obviously because of the pandemic. But you saw those guys on pit road congratulating Kyle Larson.
Yeah, I think this will be a very popular win. And we've never seen Kyle Larson until this year in anything but the 42 Chip Ganassi car. And I've always kind of thought, what would it be like if he was in like a Hendrick car? Well, I think we got it today in race number 4 of driving that 5 car.
What about his teammate William Byron, who of course won last week, finished in the top 10 out there today? He is with Regan Smith.
William Byron, a winner last week, 8th place this week. You were really good in the beginning there, just not quite what you needed at the end.
Yeah, man, we had a couple issues, just execution things. We struggled a little bit on pit road, and then I stalled it. We had a tall first gear, and that killed us. I mean, we had a shot at the lead then, and I never could really make it up. So the Liberty University Chevy was really good, and congrats to Kyle. That's awesome. Cars are fast right now, so he did a great job. Thank you.
Good to be Rick Hendrick over the last couple weeks.
Yeah, William Byron, it's almost like he and Larson's weekends kind of flipped. Both of them won stage 2 and then went on to lead the most laps. 2 wins in a row for HMS. They were really strong today.
On to Phoenix next weekend, but up next on Fox, it's Cherry's Wild, of course, except on the West Coast. And of course, you can catch Race Hub tomorrow and all next week at 6 Eastern on FS1. These 2 guys on this week. And next weekend, as I just mentioned, in Phoenix, Saturday Xfinity Series racing coverage begins at 5 Eastern on FS1. Sunday, the Cup Series coverage begins Sunday, 2 Eastern on FS1 and continues on Fox at 3 o'clock. Full weekend of racing at Phoenix. We'll see you there.
Hey, if this is just a preview of what we're going to have next week, it's going to be awesome.
Yeah, absolutely. It's going to be a lot of fun as we get out there in Phoenix. Thanks for joining us here tonight, this evening. Hope you guys enjoyed the race out at Vegas.
A giant in every way. I am the sound of fury and the sweet smell of victory. I am the return of all the things you love about this amazing sport. Something that changes you from the very first lap. I am where seeing becomes believing, and believers know it is the return of a new season. I am NASCAR.